ho, ho, and welcome, everybody. It's December. It's almost Christmas. I'm growing the beard back. I've got an Amazon hat. I'm all set. Well, anyway, it's time for another Maker Hangout. My name is Jerry. You're watching 3D HP. I've got a bunch of people in the background, so let me bring them all in, and we'll start chit-chatting about this or that. Anybody that likes, if you're into any of the hobbies that we're into and making this and making that, you're welcome to join in on screen and talk about what you're working on. So let me bring everybody in, and then I'll go through chat and say hi to everybody. Hello, Matt.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Liam.
Howdy, how are you?
Hello, Tim.
Good day.
Oh. Hey, Jamie.
Hi.
How is everybody today? What a wonderful day we have.
It is.
We're printing, of course it's a good day.
Yes. When the printers are running,
we're all alive. That's even better.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't kill us yet.
No, we won't care.
Not yet.
So I'm 3D Print Newbie, Kieran.
Kieran.
Stephen Poole.
I tell you, those 3D printers trying to take over the world.
Dominic, Non-Fam, hello. 3D Medic Vince. Andrew Osman. Hello, everyone. Yeah, Thursday night, Liam didn't have a live stream Wednesday because we were doing a test with ComGrow. And Thursday we went live on ComGrow. They had us on, me and Liam. We were on for a little over an hour. It was shared out for everybody, and those that watched, I really appreciate it. And if you haven't seen the video, it's posted around. Please check it out. Hello, Denny. How you doing? So what's everybody up to today? What's going on?
Well, ladies first.
Go ahead, man.
I was the last to arrive. I am working on, Christmas. As you guys know, I've been doing some test prints for the Creality Hallett Light, and I am in love with that printer. Everything is amazing on that printer. But yeah, I've got Bruce that I've got to paint for a Christmas gift, so he's going to take up my time now.
Very cool. Yeah, Bruce Lee was my hero growing up. I love Bruce Lee.
Yeah, and you made a dragon too on
the dragon that goes around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a flexi dragon, so I don't know if it's good. I think my dragon is better.
Everybody's printing them dragons.
No, really?
I'm printing an alien that'll be about, 4 to 5 foot tall. Paul the alien. I'm working on that right now. And
so
I do have a lot of
tall, Jerry? Does that mean it'll be as tall as you?
No, not really. I'm 5'8", 5'7" and a half, 5'8". So it'll be close. Yeah.
I should have put my Christmas hat on too, Jerry. I did go get my nails done though.
Oh, that's
cute. You got to have good-looking nails if you're going to do close-ups in videos.
Why not have a laser printer do that, or like an FDM printer?
Yeah, Dean, the Anycubic Photon Mono X, a mid-size resin printer, is my favorite printer. I love it. I have that, and I have the Prozen Mighty 4K, and I prefer the Anycubic over the Prozen.
You know, I am an Anycubic girl. I love all of my Anycubic machines. And then when I got the light and I saw what kind of stuff that I could get off, this mermaid that I printed, I know you're not going to be able to see it on from my webcam, but I printed her with the light. But she has individual eyelashes, and they printed.
Nice.
I couldn't get that with my Mono X, I don't think.
Hey, Sergio. Very cool. Let's see what's Matt been up to, Matt.
Well, I've been doing here and there a little bit in printing a flexi dragon.
Wow.
Yeah, well, everybody's printing them right now, so I guess I'll jump on the wagon.
Monkey see, monkey do. Everybody copies what everybody else does all the time.
I'm not printing the dragon.
I'm not printing the dragon. That's the same reason I don't print benchies.
Yeah, it took me 3 years to do a benchy.
Well, actually, I wanted the dragon, and I saw it, and I liked it in somebody made it in yellowish, and then it went over to orange and a little bit reddish. That was really nice. I've been doing mapping of cities, and this is one of my maps. Not one of my. That's a map I bought, but my other map, what I made. Hold on.
When you get them all done, if you would connect them, it'll look like the Millennium Falcon.
I have to say one thing, Matt. I have
Yeah.
to say one thing. You know, we often go around and say about printing the world, but you're taking that to a new extent. You're actually printing cities. Come on, man.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to take over the world, you know. I have to know where my battlefield is.
So we're gonna. Which are you, Pinky or the Brain?
I don't know. I think more like the Pinky.
Yeah, Pinky, try to take over the world.
Those are really cool, Matt.
Uh,
Yeah, they're really good.
yeah, this map I actually bought. The first map what I showed you. This one, because the problem is I only can do 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer square. Anything above that I have to pay for.
That's a big
And-
printer. 1 kilometer square printer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I squeeze it down to like 10 centimeters, you know.
Nice.
And
That's so cool.
that's this map I made. You can actually see the outline of the water.
Oh yeah.
See? But yeah, it's very nice. And the top, I'm very amazed how the top came out.
Yeah, small detail like that is hard to do on FDM.
I got my printers now totally dialed in. Before I had issues with stringing. I mean, I have minute stringing maybe.
Mhm.
And just look at the wheel. It's
That
just,
London, right?
Yeah.
That's the London
London
Eye
Eye.
wheel, that is.
Yeah.
Are you painting those eventually, Matt?
I thought about to pour a blue liquid, like see-through
Okay,
liquid.
for the water.
in here.
Get resin.
Yeah.
Get
it's
clear
for the
resin.
water.
Add a bit of dye to make it light, very light blue, and then pour it, and you'll actually look like water.
Dominic wants to know if you're going to print all the Google Maps.
There you
Denny, I
No.
sent the link. Just click on it. I don't know why you can't get in. Everyone else here clicked on it and got in.
Here you go. London, when it didn't came out so well, but the detail is pretty good.
Reboot
So
your
you have
computer,
to
Denny.
heat those Matt. You have to heat those maps and bend them slightly because it's not flat. You have to show the curvature of the planet.
Yeah, I know. I thought about a bit too full size, you know.
Well, they did say that the moon landings were fake, but Kubrick was he was so into having it right to decide to film it on site.
Ah,
So it's in the link at the top there. It should be the very top link.
Oh yeah, he just contacted me too.
I just
I don't
reposted it
know.
again. I posted it throughout. Just click on this on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Actually, I can see it on my PC. I can see it, but on my iPad I can't see it.
I don't know.
The links. So this must be.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
screwed up.
So what's going on, Liam? What you been up to, buddy?
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Okay.
Well, I've gotten a new Idex printer. That probably will go live in Kickstarter in about a month or so.
Cool.
Liar, show us.
Maybe in January. This one or next month.
This
I
will
don't
be your
have pricing on it, but it
your
has a lot
fourth or
of
your
options.
fifth. Your fourth or fifth IDEX.
It's my fourth.
Okay.
Video.
And
yeah.
I don't want
so
to
far, it's a nice machine. Prints right. Prints great.
Yeah, I'm just going to mute myself.
I'm doing a bit of calibration of it right now, which is it's right here beside me,
Well,
but I can't really. We're not allowed to show it.
I would love to have one of these days. If I could ever get one to review, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. This comes with a lot of options, which is nice. Like it has different heads, different print heads for different features. Like it has a high temp head. It's got a laser head. It's got a mixed extruder head. So it's got a lot. It's got a head directly made for printing flexibles only. Specializing in printing flexibles, it's a direct drive unit. So it has a lot of options. So far it's printing great for me. I haven't had any problems with it. I only got it yesterday. I unboxed it yesterday. I was asked not to do a live video of it, so I just built it myself and I've been playing with it. And so far, I can quickly. Like its prints are pretty good.
Nice.
So and the dimensions are good as well. I did an XY calibration, and the dimensions are good.
Excellent.
Liam, you're saying you have another IDEX printer right there, but how
I
do you
have
know you have
4.
an IDEX printer? You have to
Sorry?
show us. You have to show us the printer.
Well, I can show you the other ones. I can't show you this one.
See.
Where's my lights? Here, let me get.
Yeah,
my...
you got to honor what companies wish, or you'll never get.
I know.
Yes,
I know.
review
I'm
again.
just teasing him.
Yeah.
Well, see, I can show you my other IDEX machines. So these are my other IDEX machines right here.
Nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
That's the Guido X40, the RSD from JG Maker, and at the end is a 10-lug D3 Pro. So this is another one,
them.
And they will have. I'm not sure when they want me to cross-check everything for them, and so far it's good. I don't have any problems with it. It's got ABL, it's got all those other features, so
Cool.
it's pretty fine. ABL on one head, obviously. The second one you have to adjust to match head 2. Or head 1 has to be adjust, or head 2 has to be adjusted to match head 1. But that's normal on an IDEX.
All right.
You have a favorite IDEX, or is there any particular IDEX that are different to the other IDEX? Do they have unique traits? These are 3 questions.
Some of them have ABL, some do not. Like the Guido X40 has ABL on one head, which the other 2 do not. But if you know, but some of the others have traits that, like the RSD is they open source everything from day one. That means people were working on firmware even before the printer was released. So there was community support out there, and then the company adopted the community and changes. They said, "Okay, you like this change? Okay, we'll include it as our default firmware," and they started rolling this in because people wanted it. So they were really good at that. The 10-log, some people have issues with the 10-log board. I've never had a problem with it. It prints great for me. But the adjustment of extruder 2 is really easy on a 10-log compared to some of the others. So they all have their good and bad traits, and it's the buy off. But I like them all. They all, like, as I said, I use them all a lot. When I was doing the Choice for Tots, they got used so heavily, you wouldn't believe how often they were printing. They were going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You made all your trains on it.
Go again and start off the new one.
Yeah, everybody watching, please go over and like and subscribe. Ring that bell on Liam's channel. He needs like 400 more people to hit 1,000 subs. He needs to get up over 1,000. He reviews stuff from companies like he's a giant streamer, YouTuber, but he's not. And he needs to get over the 1,000 sub hump. Tim just got there. That's awesome. I finally got there.
500.
Yeah, James also. Everybody subscribed. Everybody here that has a channel. Matt, he might get one of these days going, but everybody needs to get over 1,000 subs so they can be monetized. And
they can go over to my Tactile 3D Picture page or
on Facebook
and join. Yeah.
Well, the big thing is when companies, like the more subscribers you have, the easier it is for you to get stuff to present anyway, right?
Yeah.
And I've been lucky because up until now, like companies like to work with me. I've been lucky like that. I got in I managed to reach out to the right people at the right time, and I got really lucky. And I don't just review. I give them technical feedback on the product.
No, you didn't get lucky. This guy here got lucky.
He got very lucky. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's my sidekick.
Anyway, let's move on to Tim real quick. So, Tim, what's going on? You made over 1,000 subs. You're having a huge giveaway coming up in 2 weeks. That is so cool. You're a great guy.
Yeah. So far, we've got about, probably a dozen companies and over $2,000 worth of prizes to give away.
Wow.
Including 3D printers. I will say that. I've been very humbled by the amount of people, and people have helped me get some donations too, because there's some people out there that know more people than others. So I'll be doing shout outs for that. But I was humbled by all the donations and all the sponsorships that have come in. So it's been great. Yeah. And
very
then
cool.
that's in a couple of weeks. I'll be putting another teaser sort of video out to talk about that. Yeah. And in the meantime, I'm rearranging the studio a little bit because Rat Rig build is done, and it's sort of on the end in its temporary home right now. And I'm doing a big print on it to give it a good test. And I know what you're going to say when you see this, but there's what I'm printing on it right now. How come that's upside down? Hang on. That should not be upside down.
Wow, Tim mounted a rat rig on the ceiling. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hang on a
Now
second.
that's a test.
You're doing
That's
a
a good
focus.
process, yeah.
The focus
There we
step
go.
is one of those. Yeah.
There we go. That's the way it should look.
Now, mounting on the ceiling would be a problem because if you're sleeping, when the bed cools, it falls, hits the floor, breaks in a million pieces, you know.
What's it,
Yeah.
Tim? Here's the thing. That printing upside down, that was for the focus printer test that they're doing, the competition, not the rat rig.
Yes.
Don't get it mixed up.
Oh shoot! Because you know what? I had to work hard to get this printer upside down. No.
I bet you had the bolt to the ceiling.
Yes, this is the articulated dragon. I'm printing him at 250%. I wanted to take advantage of a large portion of the bed. And I'm printing him in an Arion rainbow metal filament.
Hey,
So,
Denny.
Yeah, so he's still got
That's
about
gonna look
another
awesome,
30
Sam.
hours of got about 30 hours of printing left to go on it. And he's running at about 100 millimeters a second. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Should end up looking really good when all's said and done on that. So, and then otherwise, I'm just rearranging the studio, getting ready for tomorrow night's stream, moving some monitors around, and trying to make better use of my space.
Oh, Liam,
Yes.
the website is called placeit.net, I believe, or it's .com or .net.
Yes, yeah,
And Tim had referred me to it. That's where I made my intro. Where I took all the pictures, uploaded it. You can pick different music they have in there, and you can download them. If you just do it a one-time thing, it's like $8 or $9 monthly. It's like $15.99. So I subbed for a couple months, and then I realized I wasn't using it very often, so I dropped it. But it's easier to pay $15.99. You can go do a bunch of stuff and just download it, and then turn it off, or however. But that's how I made my intro like that. So
I started using. Yesterday I made a video which I was quite happy with, and it surprised me. I used a program called Canva. I'm sure everybody's heard of Canva.
That's what I use for my intros.
can you
And
spell it?
Canva is an annual. You can get it. It's like in Canada, it's about $149 a year, which is cheap, and it's good for videos, for graphics, for design, for everything. And I hadn't used it in a few years, and they've come a long way. So yeah,
I
So-
just use the free stuff. The
yeah,
free
there is.
Canva.
There is free stuff. I got the subscription through the business, so because we do a bit of design.
CANVA?
Canva. Yeah,
Spell it.
Canva.com.
Spell it one more time.
Canva, CANVA.com.
All right.
I'll put a link in chat here.
Like
I'll check it
Canvas without the S.
Okay.
There we go. Link in chat. Okay.
No, that's looking it up.
What are you
Well-
working on, Jamie?
I won't do a new info until I get
I'm working on
Tim
Bruce
come
Lee.
back with my. He's tweaking my design.
Yeah.
I'm mute.
All right.
I said, hey Tim, was that your new printer that was on your YouTube channel?
Which one?
Was that
What?
your with the rat?
Rat rig.
Oh,
The rat rig. Yeah, that's the rat rig. I've just been printing. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally working well.
So what have you been up to, Denny? What's going on?
Not much. I have company over. I'm actually printing a couple of new things, and we've been designing. So yeah, I've been just trying to get around printing more often.
Okay. Well,
Silence.
my MPC, and I'll go ahead and go next. My MPC I have out in the garage that everybody knows I built last year. Took me a year to get around to getting it working, putting electronics on it. I tried my first large print on it yesterday, a 2-foot by 2-foot Star Wars Aztec calendar. And that's the complete build volume. And it ran for like 8 or 9 hours. I sat in here at my hobby room. I had StreamYard open with a camera, and I was monitoring what was going on in the garage. That way I didn't have to be out there. You can't leave it like a laser. You can't just leave it in case something happens. And about halfway through, I don't have a dust boot hooked up on it, the shop on the MPCNC. So I went out there while it was running, opened up the door, took my vacuum, started vacuuming everything out because it was built up really bad. As soon as I got done vacuuming, or almost done, the program stopped. The spindle's sitting there running. My Makita router is sitting there running. because you have to turn them on manually. Candles locked up, and I must have shocked something. So probably Monday or Tuesday, whenever I can hook up some kind of a dust boot to it to clean it as it goes, I'll redo it. But let me show you what I did get done. So
Jerry, did you try pause and then resume the job?
Yes, and it didn't work.
No, it's the board then got it. The board got a static discharge.
Yeah, but this is a 3/4 inch MDF.
The other camera is better, Jerry.
Let me change cameras.
Yeah, the other camera gives it more justice. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And as you can see, it's nowhere near finished, but this is like
Oh, wow.
7 or 8 hours. MDF, I'm using a 60-degree V-bit on it. I used easel for the program. I found the file over on Thingiverse. It was a 3D printable file. I used easel to trace the image, and I got it to the best I could settings. Now, in easel, the finished work didn't look that well, but once I started carving, it came out very nice. I'm probably between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch deep. I'm somewhere in between there on the depth, but yeah, it was coming out good. And I didn't have a tool path to completely cut it out. So if this would have finished, I'd have to go back in and create a tool path for cutting it out. And I had to get the front 2 corners screwed down. So when I restart this Monday, Tuesday, whenever I can, I'm going, if I get it all set up right with some kind of a vacuum, to vacuum as I go, I'll run it live on YouTube for, I don't know, however many hours it takes, 13, 14 hours, whatever. And then if I ever can make enough money with MPC&C to buy me a real one that costs $3,000, then I'll take that money and I'll buy a much bigger, nicer machine.
So, Stephen, you asked a question. Sorry, Stephen, you asked a question earlier on about which of the machines are better for dual color. Any of them is good for dual color. Any Idex machine is ideal for that, or dual material, because you can do different materials, different temperatures on each hot end. So you can do PVA and PLA, or PETG and PLA, or ABS and PLA, because there are vast differences. The only thing about it is the heat of the bed might be a bit of an issue to have to watch for, but you can actually mix material and different. You can have different colors wherever you want on, and it only brings out the head when it's needed. So it actually cools it down to a point, and then heats it up just before it needs it. So when the other head goes and parks, the Shredder 2 is hot enough, ready to come out and start being used straight away.
Have you guys used PVB?
Oh, my old pictures now.
I have.
Yeah.
I did a review for them. Yusu. I like it.
I have a roll of Yusu PVB. I thought it was PLA they had sent me on Amazon return, but I have a TPU by them and a PVB that I've never tried. So what do you think of it?
The PVB is really
great.
cool.
It's great for smoothing.
Don't put it in the chamber like I did.
No, just spray it. Just spray. Get a really fine mister like you get at the beauty store for hair. Get one a really fine mister and put the alcohol, the IP into that, and mist it lightly, and just leave it sit for a minute, and then let it evaporate off. And if it needs, and then leave it a few more minutes before you do it again. Give it time to dry out before you do each layer, and you can get it perfectly smooth.
Huh.
I wouldn't know about a beauty store for hair.
Will it blend with PLA? If I was to print with this and I ran out and then I threw PLA in after it, I wonder if they would bond on it.
Yeah, they're similar temperature. It's a little bit hotter print temperature than PLA, but it would work.
All right. Cool.
About the same as silk. I printed about the same.
Yeah.
I have a lot of other
10
silk.
degrees more. Yeah.
I grabbed a roll of red the other day when I'm printing my Alien right now. And it's like, wow, is this TPU? And I looked at the pack and it was TPU. So I got a TPU, a PVB, and the rest are silks that I got from them.
Yeah, I've got one silk up there still. I think I have some. I don't have any PV. I have some TPUs, and I have I have a PETG, a beautiful green PETG from them, which is really nice. Let me find it. It's a really lovely color.
Seems like all I get is silk from them.
Stephen Poole says, Asker printer, which one is easier to configure for dual color, or are they all a pain just to get right for dual color?
Idex is a different beast. There's a lot of configuration. Okay, if you're doing Idex for just dual color, you can configure this X, Y, and Z offsets by software. If you're doing them for duplicate or mirror mode, which means you can't use the software offsets, because like when extruder 1 prints and you do the XYZ offset for extruder 2, The soft can adjust up and move the X, Y, and Z to align them because you measure the offsets. But when you're doing mirror or duplicate modes, you have to actually level the bed with extruder 1, and then bring out extruder 2 and bring it up or down to match E1. So that takes a bit of finessing. But once you get them aligned, they just go. And what you do is you get them aligned, make sure you back up the settings or save the settings or write them down somewhere. So if you ever flash the firmware, you need to go back in again. You just go in and enter the same values and you're done. But every time you change a nozzle, like in my case, in this one I'm testing right now, I have multiple heads. So every time I change the head, I have to redo those offsets. Because when you do a switch, you change the dynamics and the distance from the print head to the bed. And even when you change a nozzle, you'll have to do that. So you have to redo those and recalibrate those all over.
Well, thank God you don't have to mess with the purge block, because when I see people, they get these different things where they can run multiple colors, palettes, and they have to print this giant purge block that's like a roll of film. That's just a complete waste.
I agree. That's why this company was going to do a dual extruder with a purge, to use a purge block, and they've actually opted out of doing that. They took advice and they opted out of doing it, and they went with the Idex. And when they tested the Idex, the print quality and the results, even though there's a bit more work getting it set up, the output was way better than they could get with a dual extruder. So why would you go that way?
Yeah, purge buckets.
Purge blocks are terrible waste. Like I've seen purge blocks, I've seen some setups where they have 4 or 5 different filaments, and the purge block is bigger than the print.
Yeah,
like, that's just wasted. It's just terrible waste. And like your purge block is about 5 or 6 passes, maybe 4 walls deep, and then you do the next one, you do the same. It's such a waste of material. I would say on a purge block on a big piece, you don't waste so much. You might use 10, 15 centimeters of filament in a purge block per color. And if you're doing
Dan, how you doing? Yeah, hope you're out of the hospital and doing good.
Yeah, but a purge block on a small piece with multiple colors, the purge block can be bigger than the part.
Yeah, it can be.
So yeah, this is my newest 3D print that I'm doing right now. This is in standard PLA, but it's multicolored. But I'm gonna use my flashlight. She's got like some pink in it.
Okay.
Well, you can see it a little bit, yeah.
And I'm using it. This is actually a shelf that I'm using for my. But this is not just any shelf. I take this down. I pull it. It hides my money in there.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Well, now we know where Denny hides his money.
Yeah, now it's not a secret anymore, Denny. You have to find somewhere new.
You live somewhere in America, right?
Yes.
Okay, I know where you are.
I'm so in pain.
Don't come to my house looking for my money.
He's in Michigan. He's nearer to me than anybody else. He's about an hour and a half away from me.
Don't come to my house looking for money, because I spend it all.
On paint and resin.
No, not on paint. I just bought a laser.
Oh, which one did you get?
I just got a little one because I had to wait till after Christmas for the K40. So I haven't even unboxed it yet. I got the Niji Master 2S.
What laser head did you get with it? The 5 or the 7? The 20,
20
that's a 5 watt. 5 watt output.
Yeah, it says 5.5. I'm not expecting to get 5.5.
Well, it's between 4.5 and 5.5. There's no, it's somewhere between 4.5 and 5.5.
I think the LA hobby guy has that exact laser, and if he pops in, he can tell you about it, but he hasn't popped in yet.
Perfect. I thought this would just give me like a good little starter thing to get used to using light burn and that kind of stuff, so I can get my K40.
Well, let me show you what a 5 watt laser can do. One moment.
Let me, LA hobby guy, I'm going to hit him up again here on Facebook. Not sure what he's doing today.
Yeah, I ordered this brand new.
A 5 watt. Can you make me a big screen there, Jerry? This is what you can do in a 5 watt laser.
Oh, nice.
It takes a lot of time. That took 5 hours.
What kind of wood is that?
That's actually that is the crest for that's on it's on a bamboo board, but it's actually
Just
the crest for
bamboo?
my son's school.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's what you have 5-watt laser can do this.
I just went to Home Depot this morning and bought like
Kieran.
I think it's 3/8.
How's it going? I got sidetracked.
you
I was
let
doing
him
something
in
else.
again.
Underlayment plywood.
Damn, we
I
should
don't
have
know how to
3/8
millimeters.
3/8 is too thick for cutting.
It's like no, I don't
Yeah,
want
you
to
won't
cut.
cut it, but it'd be good for engraving on.
Yeah, I just want to like this. The whole sheet of plywood was only $21.
Yeah, it's
So,
Baltic birch. It's like 3 millimeters. I think I have some.
yeah. So it'll give me something to do because I don't have enough to do already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know you don't do anything anyway.
Hey,
Well,
Karen.
see Brandy come in. Hey, Brandy.
How's it going?
Hi, Karen.
I was doing something else, so I couldn't jump on till now. So it's all good. I hope Matt didn't read my comment, Tim.
Why?
Just wondered. That's the. Yeah, I thought it was.
Now that you've mentioned it, he's probably going to.
No.
Serious.
Yeah, well, he's got to work out where the comment was made, though. It's the first thing.
Oh, that comment. Okay. I
Yeah.
get it. Okay.
Yeah.
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 No, we won't say anything.
No, we won't say anything, Tim. That's okay, which is good.
Babe? Can you
Uh-oh.
tell me, please?
I don't think Louise would have read it either, so that's good. So I think Matt's safe. I think I'm safe for that one, which is good.
Don't bet in this.
Yeah. No. But every little bit helps, right, Tim, to make it an interesting giveaway. So,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
which is all
Well,
good.
it's going to be great. I appreciate your contribution too.
No, that's fine.
You-
Like I said, got to spread the global donations just in case.
You and Jerry and Liam gave me some advice, which helped really well. And there's a couple others that contributed, and then a bunch of companies. So it's going to be great. It's going to be about a 4-hour stream though, because there's a lot to give away.
I might have to be late
I
for
was going
work.
to recommend a few more places, but okay.
I might be late for work that day because that'll be a Monday morning for me. So we'll see how we go.
Just remember, based on how big you are at the time, if you give away X amount of stuff, when you get so much bigger and you go to give away stuff, you're going to want to outdo yourself. So, like I did, be careful.
I know.
How much you give away, because when you helped me on my 2,500 subscriber giveaway, I had 3 pages of stuff. It was like way too much stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've got 20. I got 22 items right now, and I think I got to call that it.
It's
That's
great.
not bad. That's not bad at
It's
all.
great for the community, because people have better chances of winning. But for the person giving away, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's hard work keeping track. But yours, Jerry, I think only one person got mucked up all those giveaways. So that was not bad.
There was one person. I had a $100 giveaway for STL files from Tony Chambers. A person that won never claimed them, and that was $100 worth of STL models. He has great models. So that went out the window. One thing I would suggest, though, is whoever wins, put a time frame on it. They need to contact you within 7 days at the most.
Yeah.
And the cutoff. If you don't contact me within a certain time frame, that's it. It's over and done with. Because I've had
Here's the rule, Jerry. Here's the rule. They need to contact you within that time frame. If they don't, it comes to me.
No, it doesn't go to Matt. Come on, Matt.
No, Matt
Matt,
is too
Matt.
much. It comes to me.
When you said
Well,
you need
Louise
my
may
right
need another printer, though. To be fair, Louise may want another printer.
Here's
well,
the problem.
she
If you
wants
give one to
the
Louise, Matt will try and take it.
And if it
He's
comes to
gaming for his
making a
own.
choice on different items, I would say you pick the item, and here's what you're winning right here. Don't give choices, because that just from personal experience, it creates problems.
It's all pretty much laid out. It's going to be specific items, and there's a couple rules about them. There's some U.S. only. There's some Canada only. There's some worldwide. There's some Europe only, etc. So
we should give away a box of rocks too, since it's almost Christmas, and you live in Canada.
I've got plenty of those. I've got plenty of those, man.
If you want rocks, talk to Kieran. He's a geologist.
Yeah, I've got rock samples. I've got everything from
rocks.
everything from petrified wood to marble from Ireland, Connemara marble, which Ian would know about, Liam would know, to granite from New York, the New York tunneling system. So
Why don't you want to show us some of it?
What was that, Jerry?
We'd love to see some of it if you want to show us.
Here we go. Here's
the
a
New York tunnel system. Wow.
Yep. Here's a nice crystal set. There we go. That was some underground mining from a gold mine. There you go.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty.
I noticed there's no gold in it.
I love
No.
Yeah,
That
you
was
took
just
it out
some of
already.
the vug infills from a gold mine I was working at.
Oh, I
So,
thought
Wow.
that came from your extruder.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
from that, we can do stuff.
that's
Yeah.
nuts.
What else we got here?
You know, in
Polished
Arkansas, there's a diamond mine.
Polished slabs of there you go, limestone crenulated folds. You know,
Oh, that's
That's
pretty.
beautiful.
slabbed and cut. You know, polished up.
Hey,
Lots of rocks. So no
Greg-
shortage of rocks in my house.
Greg's Maker Corner. If you want, PM me on Facebook. We can do a chat and StreamYard offline. I'll explain how easy it is and how it's not a big deal. If you ever consider doing a giveaway, I'd be more than happy to tell you what I went through and what I did or didn't do.
So I have a question for Kieran.
Yes, Liam.
Since you're a geologist, does this literally mean that your head's full of rocks?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You're wrong.
Pretty much. Yeah. We
I'm sorry, I
we,
didn't
put, we,
resist.
we use real drill bits. You know, none of this
Oh,
pissing
that's
around.
real
If you want to
bit,
drill a
yeah.
hole, you got to get a real drill bit. You know.
Well, I've seen
you're-
a lot of
wow,
those.
They're
yes.
the carbon tipped ones, yeah.
Is that
Those are
3D
cool.
printed?
No, that's solid steel. That's a real
Oh.
bit. That's a real one.
Yeah, but it's steel with carbon tips. They add carbon
Yeah,
tips
no, that
to
one's
it,
just steel. Then we go from that to
And you're saying you're supporting the 3D community.
Yep.
That's
That's it.
not even 3D printed.
You want a bigger one? Size is important, you know.
Kieran,
Yeah.
for many years of construction, I was a core driller. Now, this was on job sites. I drilled swimming pools, buildings, walls, ceilings, concrete slabs with either vacuum pump drills or they bolted down to the floor.
You mean a core drill up this, Jerry, by any
That's
chance?
the boring bit, yeah. that's
Not
the
that thick. That's a lot thicker than what I'm talking. I'm talking
Yeah,
something
that's,
that's only a quarter of an inch thick.
Yeah, PDC diamond bit, that one is.
Yeah.
And that cuts cores that sort of size.
Yeah, I've cut hundreds of thousands of cores like that.
Yeah.
But the bit
so-
wasn't that big. The diameter was big, but the wall thickness was
Right.
only like a quarter of an inch.
Depends what it's drilling in. Yeah, depends what it's drilling in.
24-inch hole is the biggest I've ever cut, and it took forever.
Yeah, 24 inch would do some serious time.
Yeah.
So where I've done with my petrified wood
I was up under a street. And then
somewhere.
when they built the MGM Hotel, when they built the MGM Hotel here in Vegas years ago, all the floors were precast, and they had they'd pour them off-site, and they had like holes in the precast to make them light, that had post-tension stress cables in it, and then they would fly them up with a crane with a big vacuum pump, set them in place. Then me and my crew of 6 guys would go in, and we drilled over 80,000 holes in all 4 towers. So
Yeah.
I drilled plenty
Concrete
of holes.
coring, when you get the right bit, it's like going through butter, but it's slow,
Yeah.
slow and steady. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to not too much water, just enough water. You got to have a nice slurry going to get it just right. Otherwise,
That's
you'll dull your
it. That's
bit.
it. And it's no different to for the oil drilling. You still got to lubricate the bit, even if it's 3,000 meters or 5,000 meters away. You got to lubricate the bit. So it's all fun and games. So yeah, do you want plenty of rocks? I got tons of rocks now.
So I was going to say something about what you were talking about. Yeah, I don't know if you heard what I said a while ago.
Yes, I did. I just declined to comment. That's all. I just moving right along, Liam. That's all.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
I was hoping you'd have caught that.
Yes, I caught it, but I deemed not to comment.
You were above that comment.
Oddly
No.
enough, yes.
No, I know you better than that.
Jamie's on. That's the only reason Jamie's on channel. So you're helping to moderate the stream. Just your presence, Jamie. That's all.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea. I probably think worse than most of you guys.
Well, there is that. There is that. I must admit, there is that.
That's funny.
Hey Jerry, I'm gonna actually print this one next.
What's that?
Oh, cool. Yeah. I think I know that guy.
Yeah, I saw that guy's channel. It's not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool the way you designed that.
Oops, where'd Liam go? Oh, there he is.
Do you have to take clothes off to come appear on the screen, huh? That's bad.
That looks good.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
She's painting. She's painting Bruce Lee. right now, Brandy?
Well, she's painting the dragon of the Jerusalem at the
sorry,
moment. So
I always forget to look at the chat.
Yeah, the laser stream was good actually. I like his laser stream as well. Greg. I didn't get there at the beginning. I got on later on and watched the end of the stream. Yeah, it was good.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I looked at it after the fact and it didn't appear that many people watched. It's like, wow, I thought we'd done a great job. I wish, but I think it's because they're so repetitive, and a lot of times you can't understand everything they're saying. That a lot of people, more people, don't join in and watch.
Greg was talking about Old Curmudgeon's live stream for the laser.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought he was talking about when we were on Comgro.
No, he did a Z1. I didn't. So you were on that, Jerry. You notified me that about it. Remember?
Yeah, I was watching it.
I thought I was subscribed, but I wasn't. But I think that's since.
Denny's got to get going. You got to get going, Denny.
Yeah, I got some other stuff I gotta do. I gotta take the front off the bed and. Oh, there's one last thing I wanted to show you was that. Remember when I told you that I ordered that Sunlu clear PLA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is from that snowflake that I printed.
Nice.
Actually, if you put it in the sunlight, it matches. You can see all the little
That's
lines
cool.
in it.
Clear PLA is nice. Yeah.
Hello,
It
Facebook
is.
user. There's a link in Facebook. If you click the link, we'll be able to see what your name is. But hello, whoever you are.
Yeah, you have to give Facebook. You have to give it permission to or StreamYard access to your Facebook account temporarily.
Take care, guys. I'll see you.
See you later.
Bye,
Hey,
Danny.
Danny.
See ya.
Bye.
So,
Cool.
but what I'm going to so later on, maybe tomorrow, I'm going to start working on my Ender 5 Plus and start working on upgrading the board. So I'm going to put a new board in it because it's the 8-bit board. When you're doing Z hop, in that the bed drops and comes up, and I'm telling you, it's noisy as hell.
I have no idea. They should use standard wheels, Old Curmudgeon. I've heard that on Facebook posts. Somebody wants some replacement wheels, and they were the wrong size.
You could always do it, but you'd have to re-drill holes. But you could always put on normal Derlin wheels on it. It's not that hard. You just have to measure the difference of the offset, drop down and drill 2 new holes, and then move the bolts down and mount your Derlin wheels. That will work because it's standard. It's using standard 2040 extrusion or 2020 extrusion, so that will work. Yeah, I don't know why they went with a small Derlin. They work, but the bigger wheels would be better.
I had some leftover resin for a couple Christmas presents I'm working on. So this that I carved a while back on NPC&C I showed you.
Good.
I took a blue resin or blue dye and I put in the resin and I just wanted to get rid of the rest of it. So I filled this. Came out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks really
I've
good.
got a couple signs for some relatives that I made with their family name on it, their name and their last name real big. And I used the same basic setup. And the resin that I'm currently buying because I'm poor, I bought these 2 bottles for like $20 off of Amazon. And they're almost gone after 2 signs. But when I get the money in the future, I'll buy more resin, larger scale. I'll contact whoever to see what brand has the best bang for the buck, the best deal. I just used a red solo type cup to mix up the resin that didn't burn through it. And I put a little bit of alcohol in it, like Lama was talking about. I sprayed it with my spray bottle here. And I put some blue dye in it and whipped it up, and it came out great. Now, I did do a sign last week where I must not have put enough hardener in it because when I put a lot of black ink, I didn't put a couple drops. I squirted a lot of ink in it. It never did set up properly. I'm thinking I must not have had enough hardener. When I mixed
probably.
it never did set up.
Well, you shouldn't be
And
using
sometimes
ink.
if your ink ratio is too much, it won't
it's
set.
different. It's different. Castable resin like that is different. That type of resin, you shouldn't be using inks in it. You should be using powder dyes in it.
Well, the
You
reason
can
I
use
went with
alcohol
ink dye is, it's
Yeah,
alcohol
powder
ink.
dyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, powder
Maybe-
dyes you use.
Well, maybe too much alcohol dye. Actually, what probably happened is the alcohol probably broke down some of the molecular
That's what I'm thinking. I think I squirted too much in it.
Properly.
Here's the reason I bought these inks to begin with is when I do resin prints on my resin printer, if they're clear and I want to make them multiple colors, well, you can't actually do that in the resin when you print it. You can put it on it after the fact, brush it on and cure it that way and stain it. That's why, like Hot Makes had a lot of things on there where they had different things with resin printed. they'd use different little dyes, and they would take a brush or just drip it on it and let it run. And Jamie's done that, I believe, right, Jamie?
Yeah, that's how I got the.
The sword blade, wasn't it?
Well, this is
not the side. The flames. The flames.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And with those dyes, you can actually get a string.
That's a mixture, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah.
And some powders.
No, it's alcohol ink that you drip in, and then you have to drop white on top of it to make the ink go down into. I may have a bigger one.
You can also, with the inks, you can inject them with a syringe.
See, it goes down.
Makes it sink.
Okay, so you for that one, you use the mold. You put clear resin together, and then you drop the ink in it. You swirl it around, and then you put white over it.
This is the back side that would have been facing up that I dropped the ink into.
Okay.
And then you with this, I used white ink that I had mixed with resin, because the thing is, when you do, I don't think I have any that, when you drop the white ink on top of the colored ink, it causes it to go down. Well, if you use too much white, the white will be like blobby white, and
ruin the color combo. Yeah.
So how you get it not to fall all the way through is add the white to some resin and then pour it however you want it.
Okay. Now I've seen people use a syringe with a needle on the end with the colors, and they actually go inside it and they inject it in and they move around and make the shapes they want.
Yeah.
Slowly injecting it, and then when they're done, because it won't be finished on top, then they actually put a small bit more of clear resin over it to seal it off on top. They close it up. So there's ways to get really creative.
I had a little bit left in a cup. I dropped a quarter in the solo cup, and what was left is like an inch tall. And I forget what happened, but I had to leave and go somewhere. And of course, when I came back, the quarter was over to one corner, and I threw it in the garbage because it was offset, and the quarter had sunk all the way to the bottom. I wanted it to be suspended. Hey, Zolan, how you doing?
Always take that out, Jerry. Turn it upside down and pour a bit of resin on the back of it, and then
Hey.
Here's Zolan.
How are the chickens going?
Not too bad. I just I actually have outside right now the solar setup I just built for them as a test.
And you're installing cable TV next week, yeah?
No, but
recliner chairs, mini bar. The important things for the chickens.
Mini bar, yeah.
Get a mini bar for them. Or is that for Zolan to sit out in peace and quiet?
Nah, they smell too much.
Yeah, chickens are stinky. They are. Yeah. They're a dirty animal.
I haven't had a farm fresh egg in years. Hey, we got another guy dropping in. He ain't been here in a minute. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Hey, Greg,
doing well. Good.
How are you?
Hey. Can't complain. I saw Zolan join, so I was like, I got to get in here.
Hey, Greg.
What have you been up to? What's going on?
Might as well.
Just been, I don't know if you guys saw, I did my Voron screen video, dropped that this morning, so and I got a rep box that just got here from a Black Friday sale.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So.
Very nice.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, I know a long time ago when you built your Hypercube Core XY, and I watched your videos and other people's when I built mine, and it's like, wow, they kind of went to the wayside. Everybody's doing rat rigs now and Volrons.
Yeah.
I love
where is it? This one right here. That's the one that I built in the video a couple years ago. But I still use it. I just converted it to rails and put some acrylic enclosure on there recently. So
I need to put a better hot end on mine. It was based off the ZYLTECH kit, but I don't like the way the belts tighten up on the back of the hot end. They're harder than hell to cinch them down and tighten up the little screws.
Well, you could always take like the rat rig hot end design and put that on that and actually modify, because they have a belt tensioner. So you could actually do stuff like that, and you could turn that basically into to perform similar to a rat rig,
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah, that'd be a good project actually, to take that and actually just get a rat rig head and make it fit that unit.
That's not nativity,
Matt's got something there he wants to show everybody.
He's got his nativity.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That's cool.
Oh, that's
Wow.
cool.
Actually, this was made by my fiance on the folk booth.
Where's Yoda?
In the manger.
I
The
Right?
know,
Mandalorian,
right there.
Mandalorian one, you mean? Yeah.
That's cool.
Thanks.
Where is the boss?
Akuma Mods had a live stream a bit ago, guys, and now he's here. I guess he's not live streaming right now.
I popped in a while ago
That's
to say
correct,
hi.
sir. What's that?
How you doing,
Bye.
buddy?
Hey, man.
Pretty good. Yourself?
I think it was kind of funny when somebody asked you, how long does it take you to go through a Sept stream? And I was going to comment that you have so many resin printers, you'll never find out because you never use any one machine long enough to
Yeah.
wear one out.
No. There's a couple that I've definitely had. Like, I want to say there's at least 4 printers here that I've had for a little over a year now. So.
Yeah, operator error is usually the number one reason why you'd have to replace it.
Yeah.
You make a mistake and you gouge it or you nick it or something like that.
Yeah, that's literally the only time that I've had to replace a FEP is user error. 100%.
Yeah. Matt German, I guess, at one time had ripped a hole in his, and I done this. And as an emergency, because I wanted to finish my print, I used double-sided, packing tape. I put packing tape on the bottom, and kept printing until I got it in the mail.
Yeah.
So what's new? What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just having something to eat really quick, and then I got to start cleaning up over here because this is a disaster.
Yeah, when I was watching you on YouTube or on your channel, there wasn't a share option. So I went to YouTube and shared it. And later, when I was on my regular Facebook, where your post came up, then I seen there was a share option there. And that usually happens on groups. Usually you can't share, but the main pages you can.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No problem. I try to help everybody out, and everybody tries to help everybody. So
How did the first print go on that machine, Matt?
So it's still printing right now. We're at about halfway point. It's still got about an hour and a half to go. So we'll see. My failure rate with test prints are pretty much 100%. So I expect this to be a failure as well. But we'll see.
A good record to maintain.
I'm actually the opposite. I would say I'm probably the opposite. I rarely have test prints fail on me. But, like I did one yesterday and it came out really good. I did one 2 weeks ago on other machines and it came out really good. Like I actually have the opposite effect for some reason.
Huh.
I sold another DR.DOOM on the throne this morning on Etsy. And when I sold the one about a month ago, I made $45 more than I did today on Etsy because I guess Etsy, wherever they're supposedly listing it, they said that must be where the person seen it from. I don't know. And it cost me an additional $45 in fees. It's like, what the hell is that? Yeah.
Wow.
Because the last one I sold a month ago, I done a lot better on my profit. And I felt it was reasonable to me. You know, they're cut on all these different little charges. But on the same thing today, it's like, wow, there's an additional $45 fee. I didn't discount it.
So yeah, there is. So Etsy's actually got a lot of negativity for that. About a year and a half ago, they changed their policies to where if you make so much money, you're automatically added into their ads program. And then if anybody uses that ads program, you lose more money.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. That's ridiculous.
You advertise on Facebook Marketplace, not Etsy.
Yeah.
I do advertise on Marketplace, and it's zero. I get zero business out of it. Like my flags I made, I love my flags. They're awesome. They're on Etsy. They're on Marketplace, and everybody's seen them. I posted them around, and I haven't sold any one of the 4. I made one for me. I got one for a present. I made 4 more. I love them, but yeah.
On my 3D printers and so on, I have made 0.
Yeah.
It's hard to compete with all the Etsy stuff.
I think
I did that for a while.
I'm going to start taking my resin stuff that I haven't painted, and some of it I haven't even glued together, and maybe put that on Etsy as little kits. And people that don't want to make them, but they want to finish them, they can buy them, they can post-process and finish them. I just need to move them. I'm not going to say I have, other than all the junk you see behind me, I always say I got like 6 boxes in another room, and I do. I got so much stuff. But the big stuff is hard to move because shipping is so expensive. So if I would have learned my lesson and done it all over 5 years ago, don't print stuff real big. Keep it shelf size. Keep it 10, 11 inches. Do not print really big because someday
That's
when
what
you
she
don't want it, yeah. Someday when you
No, I
don't
heard.
want it, you got
I
to get
keep
rid
hearing
of
it
it.
didn't yet, so that's my problem.
Yeah.
Greg, is that time right on your streamer behind you on your ticker tape 111? Is that right behind you?
Oh, is that what it's saying? No, I'll have to look at that.
You were saying 111, which doesn't seem right. Yeah, 111, 112. Right. Yeah,
it's almost 5, so I'll have to. I mostly use it for the just the headline. Yeah,
114. It says 114 now. Yeah.
Where are you, Greg?
I'm Eastern Zone time zone.
Oh, so am I.
So,
okay, I'm in Michigan.
Yeah. Where I'm like remember, I think I'm like a hour south of you or something because I'm in Toledo, Ohio area.
Oh, so, Toledo. Okay, that's not far. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what happened there. That thing needs a firmware update. It's been running for like 2 or 3 years. And
it says Thursday, January the 1st. So I think the time is slightly off. But 40 degrees Fahrenheit sounds right.
Yeah. Right, it's just time traveling. That's all right.
It's probably a bad password because it's supposed to go and do like a network check or something, and I don't know what it does. I got to look at the code.
But otherwise, it looks quite good, apart from the wrong date, the wrong time. Apart from that, it's very...
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be a plumber. I've got to drive out to Prump, Nevada, about an hour and a half away, and my brother, I've got to reinstall a toilet in his house, and he's a carpenter by trade that can do anything, but his health is really screwed up. He's got a messed up knee and a hip, and his right arm he's having problems with, and he's falling apart fast. So I'm going to drive out there and help him out.
So he's getting you to help him out?
Yeah, exactly. The little brother's coming to help the older brother. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was me yesterday. I was working on my car yesterday. I had to replace my windscreen wiper linkages that had broken, which is fine, but it's hard to get parts for a 26-year-old car.
Absolutely.
Not here.
Hey.
Yeah. Everything's in the U.S., but Australia's kind of small. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, no, I could have got the part from the U.S., but it was $120 freight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shipping is bad.
And the part was $100, and $100 freight. I managed to. I got it. It took me 3 weeks to get the part in. I got it, and it only cost me $60 in total, so that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was like 4 hours to take the damn windscreen down and take the windscreen panel off and the roof off and get behind it and take the old part out and change the whole linkage and put the roof. Oh, it was a pain in the ass, but it's working. Yay!
My wife's got a van.
Just in time for summer where it never rains.
Yeah.
So.
My wife's van's 11 years old, 200,000 miles, and I'm just hoping that it lasts another year or two before.
200,000. Mine's done 494,000 kilometers. Waiting for it to roll around for the 500,000. Yeah, 494,000.
What kind of car?
It's for the US. It'll be a Suzuki Drover. Is what the US have them as Drovers. Yeah. No, Suzuki. It's the only car I've got.
I drive a 2001 Chevy Silverado 4-wheel drive, and it's old. And someday, when I turn 62, I'm 57 now. I'll upgrade. I can't do it until then because I can't afford it. So.
Now at the moment,
2013 Dodge Charger, 298,000 miles.
Wow. The trouble is buying secondhand now. You pay as much or more than a new car because there's such a shortage of new cars here in Australia.
Yeah, ridiculous.
A friend of mine ordered a new car in February. He was taking his old car, which was 2 years old, as a trade-in. The trade-in is worth the same price as the new car is now, and his new car has only just got loaded onto a boat in Japan 8 months after he ordered it.
They say now that if you have a used car that's with low mileage, chances are, like I have one that's only a couple of years old, so it's just over 2 years old. My mileage is so low, at this point, I could sell it for more than a new car.
Yeah. Yep. So what are you going to buy? Yeah. I'm in the same boat.
Is Liam's video locked up?
No.
Whose video?
It has. Liam's video has locked up. Liam's video has locked up.
I can hear him, though.
Maybe he's talking. Crying or sleeping.
But the video had locked up here, guys.
Okay, let me stop my virtual cam and I'll go back to the normal.
Okay.
No, it's just ridiculous. Just for chips. Just for the sake of chips. Put the car
I'm in the same boat as Chris.
The Dodge dealers here have been wanting to get my Charger away from me because for 2 reasons. One, they need more vehicles, but even at the mileage, they still want to give me like 20 to 30,000 for it.
Crazy, isn't it?
But the other reason why is because I have a lifetime warranty on it.
Oh.
So you're not popular, yeah. As soon as you hand it over, they'll terminate the warranty, yeah.
Anytime it has a Yeah, the warranty is
That's
invalid
why they want to
by
kill the warranty.
everything else.
I used to have a Ford
And they no
F-150.
longer offer that warranty.
I used to have a Ford F-350 diesel dually 4-wheel drive jacked up when I had my property in Pahrump, and I sold it. When I sold it, I got a brand new Toyota Tacoma. It was a 2008, and I ended up getting rid of it. But it was crazy going from such a big truck to a little tiny truck. It drove me nuts.
No
You
bad.
get kind of used to it. Because on a
I
dually,
didn't
My car fit in the back of your car. Jesus. My thing's so small. Yeah.
on a dually, you have to drive perfectly down the middle of the road. Otherwise, you hit the bumps on both sides because the wheelbase is so wide. So you got to kind of like learn to redrive down the middle of the road.
And it has the wheel arch flares as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we got a puppy cam. Let me bring him big. Let's check him out. Here, big dog.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah, this
The
is my
socks,
lovely
the
puppy.
socks look nice on him there, mate. Nice socks.
Oh.
One sock.
All right. Yeah.
Jerry, I'm going to switch over to the other room. I'll pop in a second, okay? Because this is timing out for some reason. I'll move over to the other side.
It affected your voice too.
I was
Wow.
gonna say, he's got a very deep voice.
Oh, is it affecting my voice too?
Really,
Yeah,
really
Liam, you're
whoa.
you're almost to the let's get one stage.
Getting an echo off somebody.
It's
Not
Liam.
for me.
It's Liam.
Okay.
Or was.
So how long's that dragon going to be, Tim?
it is going to be. Let's see.
Thing looks huge.
Let me open main sale. Let me see what it says here. It's been going for 17 hours. ETA
Wow.
is another 21 hours.
Jeez.
Say again, ETA is what, Tim?
Another 21 hours.
Wow.
Hey, I got a question about StreamYard real quick. When I was sitting in my hobby room here yesterday when my MP-CNC was going in the garage, I had StreamYard open to monitor it so I wouldn't have to be out there with it. After about 8 hours, the camera started jumping and lagging. And I thought it was my CNC, but it was a camera. So either the camera was getting hot, it was my PC, or it was StreamYard running for about 8 hours straight.
It's StreamYard. StreamYard has horrible memory leaks. And after about 6 hours, you can start watching the unclaimed memory grow.
All right. Because when I redo this Aztec calendar, I'm going to go ahead and stream it live on YouTube, and it's like 14 hours. I figured if I can get a vacuum working so I don't do the static shock thing again and kill it. Did Zolan, did I ever show you that Aztec calendar? Did you see it earlier?
Nope.
Okay. My MP-CNC in the garage that I was working on. Let me switch cameras again. Well, I'll show you how big it is. It's on 3/4 MDF.
Oh, wow.
It's really big. Let me bring Liam back in real quick. And switch cameras. And that's like, I don't know, 6-7 hours.
It's about halfway through it.
And I got about halfway through it, and I went out there with my shop vac, and I started vacuuming up the dust and everything, so it was building up really bad. And I must have shocked something because the program quit working.
Oh.
I looked over at my screen, and on screen, the little rotor wasn't spinning like the
You might have just been pulling too much juice.
I mean, if I had to turn the vacuum, I plugged it in the house. I ran a cord into the house. I wouldn't be on the same power source. And I'm thinking I must have shocked something because it quit running.
Yeah. So what you need to do in those kind of scenarios is take a ground strap and put it so the probe for the ground strap is just inside the nozzle of the vacuum, and then have that hooked up to a piece of metal near you that's grounded.
Yeah.
Kill that static
And
discharge off the.
Yep.
So
whenever I
just
work
moving it
on
around.
whenever I work on the enterprise routers and I have to clean them out, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Okay, if I hook up my shop vac on the floor and I run a hose into the top of the MP-CNC going to the head like everybody does, how should I ground that so that it can run? I don't even know if my shop vac will run for 8 or 9 hours straight.
So the hose itself, the air moving through the hose will generate static electricity. What you can do is the same thing I said, except for make sure the chassis for your CNC is grounded. And then you can attach the ground lead to the chassis.
So
Yeah,
the,
if the
the
chassis
dust will
is
ground
grounded,
to the
then
chassis.
You
Static
could
will
yeah,
dump
you
in.
could wind some wire around the hose
And tape it to it.
and then mount that onto the chassis in some way, like on the head. So
Yeah.
as long as the chassis is grounded, it will ground out.
Well, yeah, we're talking wood on mounted to plastic on wheels on the ground, and you know.
No, not the vacuum, just the hose.
Just
And the chassis I'm talking about is the CNC.
Okay.
as long as you've got the chassis with the ground point, the static will jump to that ground point and earth away, no
So
problem.
even if I screwed to the wood frame of the MPC and C, it'd be the same thing, right?
No.
No, wood does not conduct electricity.
Okay, well, the metal.
No, wood does, but it requires a lot more power.
Yeah,
than
not
that.
enough.
Well, all the parts of the MPC and C are PETG. Quiet. They're PETG, and then it's got conduit rails. So.
Okay, so what you can do then is take some T-nuts onto your so you have extrusion pieces still going into the plastic, I'm assuming, correct?
No, it's metal tubing.
Oh, pipe clamp.
Yes, I got a picture right here. Here's a picture of it.
Okay, hang on.
So he'd have to cross ground each of those tubes and then ground those out.
Oh, no. That Makita, that's a three-prong,
They're
is
out
it
the
not?
head.
If the Makita's a three-prong, you can just ground straight to the head.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a frame of the Makita, yeah.
I think it's a two-prong. I'll check it. It might be a three-prong.
If it's three-prong, you can ground straight to the head
grounded,
as long as you got a good ground on it.
Okay.
At your outlet.
Yeah, yeah.
And if it's not,
That's...
that rotating of the spindle will actually generate current, and then it'll create static as well.
Yep.
I'll check the V1 engineering group where people use these all day long and they have hoses hooked up. I'll ask a question.
Yeah, but what you could do, Jerry, you see all the metal framing?
Yeah.
You could actually have you could actually run wires to join each of them together, and then ground that out somewhere to your ground wire, and then your hose would ground to the frame, so it would actually drain it away from while the hole moves around.
Better off grounding the actual router. Ground the router.
Which I would suggest
contact.
anyways, because as your router's moving, just the wheels will generate static.
Static. It will, yeah.
I have gotten zapped off of one of my Ender 3s because it wasn't grounded properly.
Hey, you get zapped walking on the carpet in your house if the air is dry enough.
Yeah, you got to pet your dog and you shock them every time you touch them. Yeah.
Here we do because it gets really dry here.
I've seen cords that came with Ender 3s that didn't have the ground connected.
Yep.
So
That's just a Creality undocumented feature. You know,
exactly.
It's trying to let you know. Yeah.
It's like a blue screen of death.
I was checking with a multimeter to make sure there's continuity.
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
The power supply that came on my Ender 3 that I won, when I popped it apart, the ground lug inside the power supply was disconnected.
Oh, that's even worse.
Inside the power supply. Yeah,
that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
So I reattached it. I brought out my meter, made sure that was all good, and then I grounded the chassis of the power supply to the extrusions.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had a static issue since.
Well, you can always just get a banana jack. That's what I use. It's a fake plug, and only the ground is out, wire straight into that. So I have actually 3 banana jacks in my shop and in the wood shop next door because I have some old equipment from 30, 40 years ago where the ground prong is missing. So I use quite a few of them.
Actually, Rich, talk now that we see your setup in your that's a 50-watt laser you have, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know you can upgrade that to a higher wattage by changing the tube.
Yeah, I can go up as high as 80 watts. Is from
but if you want to go over 80, you just switch out the power supply.
Well, over 80 would be too large for the actual structure. I'd have to.
That's why you cut out the side of it and make it fit.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. Actually, I was happy with the K40, its cutting ability. What I wasn't happy with was the size of the bed, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to go ahead and start modifying it and cutting it apart and so forth. So I just gave that away to a friend. And also, it was a really cheap build, and I haven't even gone through this one yet. So I still need to go through it.
Take care, Greg.
I've just got it barely set up. I need to check everything on it.
Have a good one, Greg.
Yeah, Rich, Jamie just bought an EJ laser, and she wanted to ask a few questions about it. Or Jamie, tell him what you got, and we'll he can go from there.
It's the NJ Master 2S, and I'm like a complete newbie to lasers. So if you don't mind, I want to add you on Facebook just to like, if I got questions or anything.
On Facebook, I'm at the Louisiana Hobby Guy, and I also have a Facebook group as well as a Facebook page, which is also the Louisiana Hobby Guy.
Okay,
so
awesome.
You can get in touch with me, any of those three. The first thing I would do is I would probably watch my video called Lightburn 101.
I probably already
and
have.
maybe 201 and 301, and I have a whole list of videos there for beginners, and that's pretty much what I specialize in is beginner instruction.
Rich, do you have YouTube open, Rich?
Yes, I do.
Make a comment. If you're not already a mod, I'll make you a mod, and you're welcome to post your links if you want to.
I'm not going to post any links right now. I'm just dropping in for a few minutes because I saw you had the stream today. I just wanted to jump in and say hi. I'm working on the over here the review for the Congo Z1. I'm going to be pretty busy in the next couple of weeks because I got that. I have the new SF2 Auteur that came in. Supposedly they've corrected all the issues with the SF2, the LaserMaster 2 Pro, and I've got 3 other lasers on the way that are being shipped. So I'm kind of busy. I'm trying to get this one finished so I can get this review up and posted by next week and move on to the next one, the Auteur Lm2 Pro.
Yeah, I've contacted them many times about reviewing their lasers, and at one point he's like, well, maybe at some point they would talk to me, but it never happened. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I posted a comment on, what was it? One of their videos.
I think his name is Gil. Is that his name, Liam?
Yeah, Gil is
that's the support guy. Yeah.
Gil's the tech guy, the English-speaking person. I believe he is from
Portugal.
Portugal, yeah. I was going to say Spain. Yeah. He's a nice guy. He knows his stuff. Absolutely knows his stuff. He's the one that answers all of the help tickets. He will answer you. Sometimes he's, a little bit slow, but you got to realize that he's busy. He's got people all over the world that are putting in support tickets at Auteur.tech. And that's pretty much his main job. And then he also manages the Auteur Facebook group as well.
Congo had the picture of your Christmas tree up for one day. The next day it was on their main site. The day after that it wasn't there, but they did have it there for a minute.
I saw it there today, and in fact, Sue from marketing contacted me about it. And
messaged them.
And I sent her an actual full color picture, a finished product.
Oh, cool.
So maybe they'll put that one up.
All right.
Yeah.
And I had, when I took the picture of mine, I intentionally had your YouTube channel as a backdrop. So
I saw that. Thank you.
Everything I do is with a purpose or a reason. I have reasons for things.
I saw that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about you the other night too when we were on the live stream, me and Liam.
Yes, I watched the live stream the other night. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. If it's got to do with Lightburn, we'll send them to you.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
But a lot of us don't read the manual. We don't read the PDF, and
I do that. On
well,
a regular basis.
See, as an IT guy, I'm allergic to reading manuals. I'm sorry, but I'm allergic to it.
But you don't. Rule number 2, rule number 1 is it switched on and plugged in, and rule number 2 is RTFM. So they're the 2 rules.
No, not in IT. In IT is rule number 1 is plugged in. Rule number 2, if it's not stable on the floor, use its manual to balance it.
Liam, you are exactly the kind of IT employee that guarantees I will always have a job. Thank you.
No, I'm a good IT guy.
Exactly.
Because
I've done IT for a long time, and
then I write monitoring
part of my life.
that has scripted resolutions. That way, people like you who don't read the manual don't have to worry about it.
No, I'm a good IT guy.
But it's when you open up the manual and read the manual, it says, please follow the instructions on this guide, and if not, reference this guide. And you find that when you open up the 2 reference guides, There's no information. So you have to write the manual to give them the instructions.
My favorite is you get a generic error message that only says contact
Oh,
your administrator, and you are
Contact tech support by any chance?
Contact freeze frame.
Yeah, you're
contact support, and when you are the support, you have no one to talk to.
Yeah. And at the moment, our company's so lean, we've had so many attritions and leavings that when I put a support query onto our website for an SME to comment on it, guess who gets sent the question I asked to me as a subject matter expert to answer my own question?
Fluffball.
I thought I saw a putty tat.
This is Odo.
I knew somebody would say
It's
that.
almost a barbecue size.
Justin, you're gonna catch all kinds of hell from these guys.
Right?
I love cats. They taste like chicken.
This is a Siberian.
Nice with chili sauce. They're fantastic with chili sauce.
And he does not want to be held right now. He's been running around, so I'm going to put him back out in the living room.
Before you lose something, yeah.
They're really good with a nice chili sauce.
Yeah, don't tell him that.
Yeah, I warned you. Liam is going to get you.
Oh, I know. We've talked. Liam's seen
All right,
him.
guys. I'll see you guys later. Maybe
all right, take care, Matt.
Take care, Matt.
Cheers, Matt.
So,
say hello to Louise for us, because I see she's out the back there working hard.
Justin, how is the tiny belt going?
Well, it's sitting.
Not going. Okay, that answered the question.
Yeah, we don't have a flat belt, so the belt's not flat, so prints aren't adhering. So
it's a tiny bumpy belt.
Belt or bed?
It's a belt. It's a small belt printer.
Yeah, it's the
Justin
one
is a new pilot, guys. How many flights have you had now?
As of today, I've done 9 flights in 12 hours. Today, I got 7 landings.
Congrats.
And I also got 7 takeoffs, too.
That's always good. Takeoffs equaling landings are always good.
No, takeoff is not the
good
hard
to
part.
have
It's getting back down on the ground is the hard.
How nervous are you every time you take off and land?
No, not I'm more comfortable nowadays. The landings I'm more nervous about.
The first time you went up, though, you was practically shaking or no?
Not too bad. I've been flight simming for years, so it's kind of, just now I'm comfortable. I get in the aircraft. I know what to expect from the aircraft. And then, today we did 7 landings, and there's video. I've got video on the SD card I got to edit and to put up.
Touch and goes?
Yep, touch and goes. Very busy pattern, and then of course.
Have you had to do any landings where you have to shut off your engine and come in like a glider?
No. So we don't do So yes, but instead of shutting off the engine, we just went to idle. We did a couple engine fire.
Okay.
Like put out.
That way you can power back up if you have to.
Yeah, you don't want to not have power and be 500 feet off the ground and be like.
I'm assuming at some point, like we see on TV, the plane won't glide. At some point, it just falls like a rock. Yeah,
it depends on how you fly.
Yeah, you can build up speed if you're losing power. If you've lost power and you need to build speed, you can nose down.
Yeah,
gain
it's called
speed and can control yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. If I lose power, I just set to 85 miles an hour, find a landing spot, make my turn if I need to, and get on the ground.
Yeah, but if you lose power altogether, like in the props, you put nose down to increase your speed, and then before ground, you nose up and you bring yourself into landing because you have enough air moving underneath you, enough speed.
I'm sorry, Liam. Where's your pilot license?
I don't have one, but I understand.
I don't have one either. I have a student pilot license.
Which
I think is probably more than Liam's got.
I understand the physics.
I just remember.
Isn't there an eject button or something that you can?
Yeah, it's called dive. Very quickly.
I've jumped out of a plane twice, and on my second jump, I broke my right foot, and I've got a steel plate and 8 screws in my ankle. And I'm afraid of heights. That's why I went skydiving.
So I'm afraid of heights.
Jumping out of a perfectly good airplane never really appeals to me.
I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling.
Yes, exactly.
Falling's fine. It's landing.
The landing.
At the end is the killer.
Yeah. So for Gary, cost of flight training depends on the goal you have. For me, my goal is VFR, private pilot license and IFR, instrument flight, and that'll be it. That'll probably cost me about $25,000. If you want to go commercial, you could spend 80 grand. If you want to be in if you want to be a jet pilot, you're going to spend. I mean, right now you need 1,000 hours before you can even touch a company jet.
Okay.
For a transport
you
license.
added the qualifier on there with this company.
1,000 hours at. Yep.
There are single turbine.
Yes.
Aerolite jets now.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't even need a pilot's license.
To transport people for money, I'd have to get a commercial license. To transport people in an airline, I have to get an ATP license. And it gets really complex and ridiculously expensive. So
I only know about all this because for some stupid reason, the UAS certifications require you to know all that.
Exactly. Yep.
Ronald Shannon, thank you very much for the $20 on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Thank you, Ronald.
What if you want to become a Top Gun?
Go into the military.
Yeah. That's free training.
I'd like to
Oh, it ain't free.
Nope. Nope, not free. So yeah, it's fun. It's expensive. And
if you have time, Rich, please send me that file. I'll see if Eagle will import it better, and I won't have to trace it on this Aztec counter that I did.
So are you primarily in Cessnas?
No, what I like, I'm flying. I can't remember all of a sudden. Piper Cherokee.
Okay.
I don't like the Cessnas. I really don't. They fly like a damn boat. You get in the Cherokee and those dihedral wings, the way they designed them is just, it's a beautiful aircraft. Here,
I like the tail draggers myself, like the Cub.
Yeah, you have to get a freaking endorsement for that.
Not if you're doing
experimental, correct. Let me see here.
Which I was actually on my way to get until I realized Gaba patent makes it so I can't have a license.
Yep. Let's see.
Ron,
I'm going to pull up my flight from today.
Ron, when I jumped out at 3,000 foot, I was wearing a radio, and they guided me down. I went static line. I wasn't strapped to anybody. I figured if I'm going to die or something's going to happen, I want it to be on my own, not strapped to someone else.
I've done a mixture.
Thank you, Rich.
I've done the line for the first jump.
Thank you.
No, sorry, I did a tandem jump for the first jump.
Thank you.
I did a line for the second, and then the second two was free fall, and I opened the chute myself.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes.
I found out something important today when I was burning my waste grid on this new Comgo.
Yes.
The Z1. I've never had a 400 by 400 bed before, so I've always burnt the beds, a different size than the laser. This one I decided to do a 400 by 400 since it's 400 by 400. And one of the things that I figured out today was the step off on the homing switches is 1.2 millimeters. So you can't do a 400 by 400 bed.
It's a little bit smaller, yeah.
Yeah. So what I did was I changed it to 380 by 380, and the extra 20 millimeters around the outside, I just took off that square. So that square is gone. And now with the 380 by 380, I can actually burn the entire grid, which I did.
Yeah, they didn't include in their step-offs. They didn't account for that as part of the burn area. They took the whole volume is what they did. And so it is about, if you take about 4 or 5 millimeters off on X and Y, you should be good.
Well, it's about 1.2 millimeters is what the step-off is for the limit switches.
Yeah, but I normally round it off to make it easy is what I do.
Your template that I burned, Rich, I had my grid set up in light burn. I dropped your template in it. I snapped it, and then it burned fine, and that's what I ended up using.
Okay, but here's the thing. It may have burned fine, but if you go to the Move tab in Lightburn and you move to 200 by 200 and then hit the fire button, it's not going to be dead center. It's going to be off by a couple of millimeters.
Okay.
So that's where the trick is. So Unfortunately, the file I gave you won't work perfectly on the Z1. So, like I said, I've never done a 400 by 400 grid before, and you have to take into consideration that 1.2 millimeter offset that they have on the limit switches, which turns out to be 2.4 millimeters all the way around.
And light burn for my K40, I have some of my settings screwed up, and me and Liam talked about this before. When I had the Comgo in the house and I'm changing things in light burns, when I went back to the K40 and I tried to burn some coasters last night, and I dropped in a template, and I had tried to get it to frame it, it was just banging the sides and it was going nuts. Eventually, I just had one coaster in the center. I found it, and I just kept reburning in the one spot. So I've got a couple of my settings wrong because the Comgo.
You probably weren't in absolute coordinates.
Well, no. Well, also K40 runs in millimeters per minute, whereas
it runs in whatever you select.
Yeah, but the difference is one is capable, one is not. So
yeah, it says best for diode.
There is different settings for a CO2 than there is for a diode. And if you use the wrong one, it will actually go ballistic. It will actually go crazy on you.
Well, it should default to the right setting no matter what.
And also, I got a notification last week because I bought Lightburn over a year ago, and I've had an update since. I got a notification that I no longer qualify for future updates. So I guess in the future, if they come out with something new and cool, I'll have to pay some sort of a fee to get the newer update.
Yeah, I renew those all the time. The board the control board that you installed in the K40, is that a DSP version?
That's from something Gerbil. What's it called?
It's a Gerbil board. It's a normal Gerbil board.
Company down under.
It's not the DSP version.
No, it's not the industrial size. No.
I see. Okay, so that's why.
The DSP is the heavy duty that's used in industrial machines mostly.
Yeah.
Let me pull up what Justin asked here real quick.
This was today's flight. So
there's your touch and goes.
There's no touch and goes. So we did 6 touch and goes at Greeley, and then we did obviously our full stop in Fort Collins. So obviously take off, fly over. Not bad on the pattern. Stayed pretty consistent, which is nice. And you can see where the runway is. And then we came back into Fort Collins, and where I'm on final, and there's a Gulf Stream coming in on final, and we're not fast enough. He's pulling 150 knots, and I hear, once I upload a video, I hear the tower say, 059, make left 180 and go downwind. I'll call your base, and my instructor didn't hear it, and so it added 10 minutes to our flight, but I had to do a 180, extend my downwind quite a bit, and come back in. But I'm working on the video now. There's a good hour and a half worth of video, which I'm not really good at expediting.
When are you going to start planning your rude messages on your tracks there, Justin?
Someday. Once I have my private pilot, I can look at doing that.
Yeah, there are some very nice tracks.
Yes.
They've done even private, little under commercial ones. Yeah.
Yep, I've seen them. It's
but to sit there and plan that out, that's some seriously hard work to sit there and plan that out.
Oh yeah, you literally have to know exactly where you're turning and everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Wow. Let's see.
Yeah, Ron, the reason I broke my foot on my second jump from 4,000 feet, when I got out of the plane, yes, I'm hanging on the strut, and when you go, pulls your chute and everything, the radio around my neck they were guiding me down with did not work. For some reason, it worked on the ground. When I got up in the air, the radio wasn't working. So the kid on the ground, I couldn't hear him. I seen the giant arrow since I had already jumped the weekend before. I knew what I had to do with breaking my chute and making this turn, that turn. But when I got close enough to the ground, as you know, you can yell to somebody at the ground or talk to them. They can hear you plain as day. I didn't tell him my radio wasn't working. And I figured, this is easy. I can walk away from this. I flared about 30 feet in the air when I was doing 35 miles an hour, and I put out my right foot and walk away from it like I knew what I was doing. That's when I snapped my foot. I should have dropped and rolled. I should have told him on the ground, let me know when to flare, because the ground, as you know, comes at you really super fast. And I figured I could handle it, and because I didn't do what I was taught the week earlier, I broke my foot.
Wow.
Landing on one foot means all of that input landed on that joint.
Yeah, I should have dropped and rolled. And I was too high when I flared. When it breaks your chute, I was moving too fast. So
yeah, you slow down too early. Yeah.
Yeah, my screw up.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
Very steep learning curve, but it's a learning curve.
I worked in high rises for years on the strip and construction, and if I can hang on to something and look over the side, I'm fine. It doesn't really bother me, but if I'm not hanging on to nothing, it scares the shit out of me to get near an edge of anything. Right. But unless I'm hanging on to something, then I'm fine.
But it's never the fall that hurts. It's a sudden stop at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
The dam, Hoover Dam, they built that giant bypass bridge you guys seen that's way up in the air. When I go across it, I used to get on it and zoom straight as fast as I can because I don't like heights. I don't have a parachute on my truck, so
the last time I was down there, last time I passed by Hoover Dam, I drove over the dam itself, not over the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, down lower, yeah.
I don't think the bridge was open then, though. That was a long time ago. How long is that bridge there?
I don't remember how long it's been there. It's been a while. I didn't want to work on that project when it came through my union hall back when I was working. I didn't want nothing to do with that project. I do not like heights.
Yeah, that's mostly crane work anyway.
All right. All right, let's watch some video.
A lot of that's done on land and then dropped into place from a crane, Gary. So.
Yeah, but they got guys up there on the. Go ahead, Rich.
I think I'm gonna get back to my my Comgo review. I've been on it for about 2 hours so far.
What do you think of it as a laser? I think it's a fine little machine.
I'm sorry, say it again.
What do you think of it as a 5-watt laser? It's a fine little machine.
It's a 5-watt laser.
Yeah, but like for a 5-watt laser, it's a decent machine. It's great for crafting and stuff like that. You know, it's great for anyone who wants to get into the hobby.
Yeah, I think they have it at a good price point. I like the 2040 extrusion on the front and back. That helps out with the x-axis movement. I like quite a few of the things about it. I especially like the cabling where you don't need the drag chains. But I didn't like the fact that it was dead on arrival when I first got it.
Well, okay, yeah.
Jerry had a similar problem. I had a problem with, I think it was 7.2 I was getting on the power supply. So I wound up opening that up and I found 6, 7, 8 cold solders. It looks like a pretty decent power supply too. It may have just been a bad batch that they had. But I went ahead and resoldered those connections and now it's working fine. There is also a problem with the very little small wheels that they're using.
Yeah.
They're not completely round. So so far it hasn't affected anything I've tested it on, but it's definitely going to, be a problem. That's one thing that I'll have a recommendation to change.
A lot of people are saying that, and if you bought the large Derlin wheels, you could actually just measure and offset the wheels, drill new holes, and mount them. It's easy enough to do.
Yeah, you could, but when you're spending that kind of money on a laser, I would really expect them to provide a better quality of wheel for it. I don't know why they downsized.
A standard wheel that you can buy anywhere to replace them.
But I think my favorite thing about it is that you don't have to raise the laser in order to use a roller accessory.
Yeah, you can just move the Z up. Yeah,
it's got a 4.1 inch throw on the Z, so that's a pretty long distance. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I do wish it had a fine-tuned adjustment on the hot end, so if you wanted to burn a little deeper on the fly, you just crank it down a little bit.
Like a Z adjuster, you can like on the Auteur where you have the
rod, we can adjust it up and down.
Auteur just came out with that accessory
with the laser with the Pro, with the new Pro,
with the knob on top.
The thumb screws are really nice, but if you go to change them just slightly, you got 4 to screw with, and you're going to automatically drop too far down or pull it too far up.
Yeah,
and be able to fine tune it. And we mentioned it to them, but I don't know if they're going to.
Also remember one, Jerry, because it's got a fixed focal length. You've only got 2 millimeters from the material to the plastic shield, so that is going to limit how much Z travel you can do anyway. Because it is a very short focal length laser.
Somebody asked me about air assist the other day on Facebook, and I said, well, I don't really think it's needed, but if you did want to put it on it, you've got that red cover in the way, so you would have to technically drill a hole through at an angle through the cover to get it.
No, you can bring it in the back. You could bring it in the back because there's an opening on the back of the cover. There's an arch. You could bring it in the back, and for cutting, it would really help though. An air assist would help with cutting.
And I've had to wipe mine out a couple times. Had a lot of charring inside. I had to tip the laser up on in and wipe it out real good. Or actually unscrew that. Take the 4 bolts out of the head and turn it over is what I meant to say.
Yeah, you could probably do the same thing that I did to my NAJ too. Just take the front cover off and replace it with a 3D printed part.
Yeah, but on the L1, the Auteur L1, that has an air assist head on it. It has a long it comes with 3 different lasers, and one of them has an air assist nozzle as part of the kit.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the SF. I would take.
That's the L1. It's the cantilever 180 by 180.
Yeah, it's probably the SF module that.
No, it's the LF module, long focal length module, and the SF is a short focal length. The long focal length one has the option to put on. I have one here.
Well, that's surprising because the SF one should be the one that is going to be doing the cutting and needs the air assist. Actually, it's like when you used to change lenses. You had the standard G8 that came with most lasers, and people would change to the G7 or the G2 for cutting. So and the G2 was what 12 millimeters, something like that. Focal length.
But this is a long focal length, but it is the 5.5 watt, right? 5.5.
Yeah,
but it's got a longer focal length, so it's further away. So it has there's a long focal length, lower power.
It surprises me that they wouldn't put the air assist on the short focal length.
Well,
that would make more sense.
They want that way. Then you have more Z movement for cutting by having it longer, so you have more Z option movement.
I'm not sure what that means, but
because if you're cutting multiple paths, and if you want to drop your Z as you cut, you're able to do it now with the long focal length laser. You can't do it with the short.
But you're talking about 3-4 millimeters. That's not going to make a difference. But the further you are from the workpiece, the more divergence you have from the laser. So the laser starts out real sharp up here, but the further you go up, the wider the divergence is. Unless you have
it's the other way. It's a V coming down. The laser comes down and points to at a point.
That's what this is, a V coming down. So
sorry. Okay, you're doing upside down. Okay.
Yeah. So unless you have a collimating lens, like if you have a FAC lens, for instance, then you're collimating the light, and you can go up a little bit higher. But when you're talking about a regular diode lens, like a G8, which is probably what's in it.
Yeah, probably.
You really want to be as close to the material as you can get in order to cut, which is why I think that they probably got that one backwards. So
I haven't tried it for cutting yet, so I'm not sure, but I have it, but I haven't tried it.
Rich,
when you have a misunderstanding in the engineering meeting or whatever, but you definitely don't want to use an LF diode, for cutting. You want to use an SF, and the SF is the one that should have the air.
I can show it to you. One second, I get it.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
I know you do.
The Chinese manufacturers, they don't always think things all the way through, and I think that's probably what happened in this case, is that they just put the air assist on the wrong module.
Whatever one was handy at the time. We are talking China.
It was probably just a misunderstanding in an engineering meeting.
It's just like up on. Comgrow calling that laser a Comgo, but on the laser it says Comgrow. Somewhere somebody made a mistake and misprinted it, and they just left it.
I'll make you a bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So they have the longer, and you can take this off and put an air assist inside here as well, and they have all the tubing and everything you need for it.
Right.
The only thing they don't provide is the air compressor, which you can
hold that up to the camera. Let me see the laser diode. So it does have the air assist on the top. The fan, I should say.
It has a cooling fan, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's got a screw on that goes on inside here, over the beam as well, over the laser, and you can actually run a tube into it to flow air.
I think I see what the reason is for that, and that's because the aluminum housing is too short to disperse the heat, more than likely. So
maybe.
So they probably put that on there for that reason. I don't think I've ever seen one that short in a 5 watt before.
Yeah,
Yeah, she said.
it's not super long, but it's they said this comes off,
Yeah.
and then your air assist nozzle goes on over that with the tubing coming out of it to
Yeah, I
air.
watched your review, Liam.
It's a decent, it's a nice little laser.
Yeah, they're all nice little lasers, you know, depending
they
on
are.
what you want to do with them.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
yeah, so I mean, so far the only problems that I've had with the Comgo, the G1, is like I said, those roller wheels and that power supply that it came with, which seems to be a problem because now I've heard from Jerry and 2 other people that have also had power supply issues. So
I haven't had any of mine.
I've got a question about the PWM button on machine settings. That the Comgo had me change from 1 to 0. Once I did that, I could do a long burn. It wouldn't shut down on me.
Yes.
But like Liam said, you probably won't be able to do grayscale with it set to 0. I don't know.
No, you can't. You have to go back. You have to change it. First off, be very careful when you're changing the board settings. You know, your controller settings are something that you really don't want to fool with. But if you want to do a lot of short, sharp turns and things like that, yeah, you go ahead and set it to 0. But that setting should be as set as 1 on the controller.
And if I left
you want to
it
make your
like they
adjustments
had
in
it-
light. You want to make your adjustments in Lightburn and not in your controller software. So
it was in Lightburn.
It was in Lightburn. Yeah, but you were going into the device, the control
The
board
machine settings, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between using the little gear icon at the top and the little settings icon at the top and actually going into the controller settings. The controller settings are something that you're going to write to the EEPROM on the controller. And once you've done that, that's a done deal. You're not writing it to memory, you're writing it to the chip, to the EEPROM.
Mm-hmm.
So you really don't want to mess with those settings. Now, what you did, setting it from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1 or however you want to do it, yeah, that you can do that and get away with that and not have to worry about it. But I'd be very careful otherwise, because they don't give you a file to flash the EEPROM if you make a mistake.
Yeah,
on the
it
memory.
shouldn't stop running. The thing shouldn't stop burning. But like you said, you've seen all my fails. I had like a whole stack of that wood that I bought. Yeah. As a matter of fact, now since I done the Christmas tree, I got 1 sheet left out of all that wood in that pack. And
what that does is it puts it into when you change that setting, you put it into constant power mode on the control board. So what constant power mode is it will stay at whatever power that you have set.
It doesn't vary.
It won't vary at all. So if you decide that if you don't change that back and you decide that you want to do an engraving now, that's not going to happen.
It'll be all the same color. You will not get any grayscaling.
Okay. You're right. You won't have any grayscale in it whatsoever.
So
now,
Auteur, Niji, all these other ones, like when you put out the file for the Eiffel Tower, you had no trouble burning it. But on the Comgo, I did have trouble burning it, and that's the only way to fix it was by changing that setting.
There's another way of changing that you might want to look at. There's an option in Lightburn that say constant power mode.
Yes.
There's a tick box, a little option in one of the settings for your cuts right? And if you set the other one back to 1 and go in there and turn it on, then Lightburn is telling it to do it that, and you're not overriding the hardware.
Yeah, that's on the cuts and layers tab.
Okay, so that should stay with that file. If it's loaded with the file and saved, whenever I load that file up again, then it will automatically tick it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
And,
that was the way I would. Now that we confirmed it, that's how I would do it. I would just use the Lightburn to override, and it's temporarily overriding in the code rather than having the forcing the hardware in the hardware machine settings.
Okay.
Because if you change stuff in there, you affect the performance of the whole machine.
Yeah.
Like the speeds and so on in there are permanently written to the hardware. They're not just driven by the software anymore.
I'll change it back today.
Yeah, but then give that a try.
Yeah. So what you want to do in there, what you're getting is you were getting more than likely you're getting an error 9. Okay. So what you want to do in there is you'd want to change the. Let me think for a second. The shock and movement. I would say probably the shock and movement, which is what is that, Liam? $1.33, I think.
No, it's lower than that, isn't it?
No, it's $1.33. So the standard Gerbil setting for $1.33, that shock and movement is going to be 250 on a laser. So if you take and put $1.33 equals say 1,000, that will stop your shock and movement controller. So you won't get that error message. It won't stop burning if you change your $1.33 to 1,000. Let's say.
Isn't there an option in Lightburn to do that as well? Isn't there,
that was in your video, Rich. When I tried that in your video, my settings wouldn't change. They did change, but they didn't go to where you said they would. So for something that's different with Lightburn in that machine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you can also go to the gear icon up on top and go to the additional settings, and in the start box where it says Start G code, you can type in there $1.33 equals 1,000 and say OK. And then when you send the job, that $1.33 equals 1,000 will be the very first line of code appended to the beginning of the code that's sent to the memory on the controller.
Yeah, but isn't there another setting in there in the cuts and slices? What's it called again? Not concept power mode. There's another option in there. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
The cuts like the graphics?
No.
That,
one second. It's in the optimization settings. If you go in the optimization settings, I think it's called. You can reduce direction changes that help. But it's no. The other one is called. Oh, I can't find it now. It's escaping me. There is another option to have it do something similar in the software rather than the hardware. Than doing $1.33. There is an option. One of the options inside there, in the cut, I think it's somewhere in the cuts, where you can limit the amount of. Oh, I can't remember the name of it now. There is another software setting that can actually have that in Lightburn, and it actually cuts down the it's like in printing and acceleration and jerk settings. It does.
Well, you're probably talking about in the optimization settings. There's one called backlash.
Yes, hide backlash.
Limit backlash.
That would it's called hide backlash. That would help as well.
Yeah.
Turning that on would actually slow down the acceleration and the jerk, so it would actually make it easier to handle as well. It does a similar thing.
That's a setting that should always be on. Hide, unless you're doing like an offset fill. That's the only time you'd want to turn off the backlash setting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should always have the hide backlash turned on.
And that actually helps with that same type of scenario.
Right.
So.
And another thing too is, if you lower your over scanning a little bit, that'll help too, because there won't be as many sharp turns. So, but yeah, there's so many ways to address it that it's just a matter of trial and error when it comes to the particular machine that you're using. So, like for instance, I can use my AJ and I can cut the Eiffel Tower, which I did, without changing any settings. I can use my Auteur and I can cut the Eiffel Tower, which I did without changing any settings. But I'm sure on the ComGrow that's probably different, because I've noticed there are a few little peculiarities.
Take care, Ron.
I'm wondering if it's the version of Gerbil they're running. I haven't looked into the version of Gerbil. I'm wondering what version they're running. If it's an older version, it's why there is some peculiarities.
I don't think anyone's running an older version right now, and they're using the 32-bit processor. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be the latest version. There'd be no reason to use an older version. So
yeah, we say that all the time. But how many of us get 3D printers running version 1.5 of Marlin?
Yeah. Well, maybe you might get some old
reality.
One thing about the ComGrow for sure is that it's a new laser. It's only 9 months old.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident that they're running the latest version.
I'm going to check anyway. I'm curiosity's got me thinking now, because there's a few things that we've mentioned, and I kind of went. I know there was enhancements made in Gerbil to try and address some of these issues, and I'm wondering if it is a couple of versions behind, and if it is, that would answer a lot of those questions.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get back to doing some test burns and everything.
Happy burning.
Well, thank you very much.
Y'all have a
Take
great
care.
night.
Cheers, Rich.
It's good seeing
Good
you all.
night, Rick.
Take care.
All right, have
See you,
fun. I'll
Rich.
talk with you soon.
Thank you very
Bye.
much for the super
All right.
chat.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm sure you can get a smaller printer than that, Tim, if you tried harder.
Well, maybe. I'm just getting ready for tomorrow.
I have a smaller. I have a printer that does 80 by 80 by 80.
Do you?
I do.
And I'm not worried about size as long as it keeps me happy. Size isn't important. So
This is 180 by 180. I'm
Yeah,
replacing
no,
this.
I have a. Do you remember the one that what's his name? I did a stream on this, a little plastic one.
the one that Chris did with the
Chris did one a few weeks, about
Yeah,
a
that was
month
funny.
later.
That was so funny. It's surprised how well it worked.
I hate it.
Hey, Bill Overbot, how you doing?
This one?
I had one of those things. I had
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
I had to,
Yeah.
I had to take it apart and rebuild it to get it working properly.
No, it hasn't come out of the box yet.
Yeah.
They sent
I
me
think that's
two
where it
of
should
them.
stay, Tim.
Yeah, they sent me two of them. And I'm telling you, does it print? Yes. Is it a good printer? It's a piece of garbage in a box. I wouldn't let a kid play with that.
I mean, if you want to go for a small, get the Voron 0.1. Then you can use it to build the parts for a real Voron. Have a real printer.
Or get them for the same price you can get the Ender 2 Pro, which is a little bigger build area for the same price. Like, why would I go with that when I can go with Ender 2 Pro?
You can get a
The Ender 2
Kinroon.
Pro is 160,
Yeah.
170 bucks. They're great. Yeah, the Ender 2 Pros are great little machines.
This thing's not bad.
How much is that one?
This one's about a little less than an Ender 2 Pro.
Okay, it's about 150. Yeah?
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
It's
the
all
Ender
the
2
same
Pro is
size,
160. 165 or
the
something.
new
like that.
the new ones now come with
Marcus.
this new head on them. So
Everything prints
The direct
better than
drive
a
head,
Toast
okay.
Marcus.
yeah. There's a
That
guy who's got a
also brings-
YouTube channel. I don't remember. There's a guy, but he runs a print farm with King Runes, and he does really well. So
That
'Cause
sounds
he-
like what's his name?
I don't remember
That's
his
the one.
name.
He's on often on here. What's his name?
The guy with the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the doohickeys and the
I'll tell you what.
whatchamacallits.
I will
forget
make
to do
one
it.
action, and you know exactly who I'm thinking of.
The guy with the brain? I mean, I know that's not you, but
Come on, Jerry, who is he?
I'm not sure. I can't think.
oh yeah. So I got stickers.
This is his streams. This is what he's like on stream.
Yeah.
Ooh, Justin's got stickers.
Dixon. He's
Dixon,
in chat
yeah.
right now. Yeah, Dixon's watching right now.
Yeah, I know. He's always in his
He's
rocking
online,
chair.
yeah.
But he has a whole pile of those. I know he has.
No,
a whole,
last
and
week he
was-
wasn't in his rocking chair. He was in his garage and he wasn't
Yeah.
rocking.
That was the first time ever I didn't see him on his rocking chair. No, but he has a couple of those machines and he loves them.
No, these are great. No, there's a guy. He runs a print farm. He's got about 40 of these, and he
Really?
prints specific parts. He just opened a storefront. Yeah, he's doing really well.
Yeah.
The only issue there would be the spool holder, because I mean that almost doubles the space you
Oh,
need
no.
for it.
No, well, the way he's got them set up, he's got them on metal shelving, and he has the spool holders. He printed a piece where he can mount them to the shelving.
Yep,
the
that's
spool
what I have.
holders
That was
incorporated.
the
have
nice
that
thing
right
with the
there.
Prusa Mini, having that mod where you actually put the spool underneath the Prusa Mini and took up very little space, which is something they should have done off the bat. That was a nice mod.
Sure, if you have a whole pile of them, just get a rep box and stick them up and hang it above.
I just got a rep box in today. My second one.
No, I don't have any rep box.
I got one of the B stock units that he posted about. So $80 for a rep box? Like, come on.
Yeah, you can win one in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh, teaser,
Tim's got a
teaser
giveaway.
alert from Tim.
Nice.
Yep,
Nice.
So if you guys want one, send me your address. Either put it in private chat or message me somewhere, and
Cool.
I will send these to you. I have stamps aplenty. Me and my wife, when we got married,
Thank you.
this is how many stamps we have.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
Thank you, Sergio.
I have no shortage of stamps.
And
Yeah,
can
but you
ship a
don't
box
have the
and
you don't have the
cover it
cool
with
stamps I
stamps.
have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I paid for these 10 years ago, and I'll never buy stamps again in my life.
Isn't
see
that
what-
the same thing? You got the stamps when you got married.
Yes. Yeah.
So
before
when
we
you
got
get married, but when you get married,
Mhm.
you buy a large glass jar and a large bag of marbles. You know that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, and lose your marbles. Yeah, I know.
No. So for the first year of marriage,
Mm.
every time you have sex, you put a marble in the jar.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And after the first year of marriage, you start taking a marble out of the jar.
Yep. Yep.
I've been married for 30 plus years. I'm still taking marbles out of the jar.
Oh, yeah.
See, you don't have school stamps like these. Put it full screen,
I
Jerry.
lost my marbles.
You see this?
Well, we know this.
Watch this.
Oh,
Those are cool.
They show.
I
the
take it you
moon.
missed the eclipse yesterday there, Liam.
But do you use them, Liam? Do you actually use them on letters?
Just
I have used some.
Private.
I don't use them as many because they are limited edition.
Oh, okay.
I bought them in Casper, Wyoming, when I went out for the eclipse in 2017. And I use a handful every now and again, but I keep some. There's some I will not touch, but they're nice. They with heat. Where the disc is black, where the moon's covering the sun. When you heat it up, the moon actually shows through. It's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
They were made just for the the guy who took that photograph is Fred Espenak. He's known as Mr. Eclipse. He's an astrophysicist that we used to work with NASA, and that was one of his images that he took a couple of years ago before the eclipse. But I think he's seen something like 30 or 40 eclipses in total. He travels around imaging eclipses. But when we have a model of saying when and the next eclipse will be, it was actually Fred Espenak has calculated when and where the eclipse will be for the next something like 200 years.
Nice. So I do have a second logo that I should open.
Well, we'll have that. Okay.
Let me share it here.
Okay.
Eventually.
Yeah, the one yesterday was quite a nice eclipse. Totally.
In the
total eclipse,
yeah. But that was in the
Antarctica was the best place to be for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, was it the Arctic or the Antarctic?
Antarctic.
Antarctic, okay.
So I'm here in Perth, and we could see I got a partial. I mean, a very partial, about a third.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Liam, 6:48 p.m. tonight, ISS is passing over and doing a slow scan TV broadcast.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
I got to keep a list of everyone I send these to. But this is the other logo that Tim's wife was nice enough to make up for me. This will get larger stickers when I can afford 100 of them at 5" by 3". So
Cool.
they'll get sent out. I'm going to have to get addresses again at some point, but if I was smart,
Don't forget, Jason.
Hey, Sergio.
Tim's friends and family discount is a markup of 150% for his pricing.
Marcus, his last name is not Brencor.
No, it's Justin. My company name's Breakor.
Yes.
Stamps
Built
to
over
send to
borders,
Australia.
right.
Jesus. That's going to take a while.
How's it going, Sergio?
Kieran, I don't know if I'm going to send one to you. He's in Australia.
I'll send you one. I've mailed many things to Australia.
Jerry sent me the last one. Jerry sent me.
Anyway.
It took 6 weeks. 6 weeks for the mail to get here. It did get here in the end, but it took 6 weeks, so it's quite funny.
Yeah,
There's
$1.25 stamps will do it. Ooh, Sergio's got a fiber laser.
Right.
Yeah.
Zolan, there's
He's
two
got
stickers.
money.
There's 2 stickers in here. So.
Okay, I'll if I can find my non-hollow ones, I'll send you one of each.
Yeah, cool. Addresses on it. So,
Do I get a sticker? You need any money for it?
Just shoot me your address and I'll drop one in the mail.
Sergio, is that a 20 or a 30 watt?
20.
Nice.
See, Liam's got wattage envy.
It arrived yesterday?
It arrived yesterday. They shipped it Wednesday, and it arrived yesterday from China.
DHL or FedEx, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was impressed.
But the tuning of that, there's a lot of there's a different learning curve on that compared to a diode. Because you're talking about frequency and focal distancing, and there's a lot more work involved in fiber lasers. They are fantastic, but there's an awful lot of work. Like the closer you get, the more fine detail you can engrave.
but you have to use the right frequency for the right materials.
Yes, I know, and that's why I got on the Laser Everything Discord channel.
Oh yeah, he knows his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but the other thing is, I haven't even connected it to the computer yet because I finally got a hold of EasyCAD. So I got the community version from Laser Everything, and but I still got to get the driver. I'm figuring out how to connect this thing before I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess up anything with my computer.
The driver should be on the software. It should come with it.
No,
they didn't give you any software. They should give you EasyCAD with it, with their driver built in.
Yeah, well, there was nothing. Matter of fact, I'm going to send her an email because the girl that I was talking to, Anna, I think is her name, she's amazing. So I get this application from FedEx for customs, and I'm like, I gotta fill out this thing. I have no idea what to do. So I just sent it to her. She sent it back within an hour, all filled out. All I had to do was sign it.
Yeah. Well, I've never had to do that with a printer, so anything that's been sent to me yet. But yeah, they have to do customs declarations to get it into the country, and if they don't do it, customs will send it to the destination to complete the form. So that's what happened with you. But
well, she got it done real quick. So it looks like they're pretty good over there. It's called the EM Smart.
Yeah. I was looking at one of those. They're not inexpensive, but they're not expensive for a fiber either.
No, they had $200 off until the end of November.
Yeah.
What are they? $1,500?
$2,300.
23.
Yeah, it was $2,500 with the $200 off. It came to $23.
Yeah, they're nice machines. I've seen some samples of the work they can do, and they're fast as well.
Yeah, I was watching what's his name? 3D Print Farm. He had one.
Yeah, Naomi Wu did one. Did some testing with it too. She did a whole pile of sample testing on it, and it does a good job. It's a good little machine.
If I can ever sell enough stuff, I want to get the One Infinity CNC, like the one they sent Jim last week. I wish I was a huge streamer.
You should.
Yeah, that's a nice CNC.
Stuff that they send you.
Yeah, the sample pit alone that it comes with is worth about $200 or $300 of samples to actually test it on, with the bottles and the plates and the dog tags.
Great video on it.
It's amazing what they actually send you for testing.
That's the dongle, is it?
No, it comes with a large box of sample.
Oh yeah, well yeah they do.
Plates.
Yeah, but I'm saying they come with drink decanters and everything like that.
Everything.
And there's no rotary on it. I don't think there's a way to fix a rotary on that though. I think it's a flat surface and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't believe it's got a rotary option.
No, it has some stands to hold cylindrical objects, but not a rotary. No.
Yeah, it comes with stands. So it comes with these stands. So on the plate here,
there's brackets to hold stuff in place.
Yeah. Pig pins. Yeah. Stands.
Yeah, you put them on these stands and you set it for the round stuff.
Yeah,
but it's got no rotary, correct? But that could be easily modified to add.
See, there's no X and Y. The reason why is that a laser those fiber lasers use what's called a galvanometer, where it's a series of mirrors in the head that go through a lens, and that point the laser beam is a single point. And the galvanometer at high speed, points the laser by reflecting it on X and Y. So that's why they can't have it. Yeah, so they don't actually have anything moving. It's a series of mirrors that move super fast. That's called a galvanometer, and that's how the laser beam is directed inside them.
But doesn't Trevor's fibers have a rotary on them, don't they?
They've added because the board had an axis for controlling it.
Board
may not have
the Laser Everything done that video the other day where they sent him that gold bracelet and he had engraved a name on it with his big fiber laser, and that was really cool how he engraved in gold.
With a 50 watt, you can with a 30 watt or higher, you can do gold. 30 watt would be multiple passes. 50 watt, you could do it probably in one pass. But a 20 watt probably will not engrave deep, and probably won't engrave gold. I don't think it would anyway.
I can't engrave my gold bars, you mean?
Well, all the ones that you have hiding under your table.
Yeah, in your basement. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, well, too bad.
So
Tim's got so many. He used them to level his rat rig. That's what's holding his rat rig up, is the gold bars. He's got so many.
And silver coins and gold coins.
Yeah.
So it will do gold. I didn't think it would at 20 watts.
Well, they're not. It's not real gold, obviously.
No,
It's like gold,
but it's
it's gold plated.
like a brass coin.
Yeah, those will do, but I don't think it'll do gold. I think gold is too reflective. You need a higher power to ablate it, but it'd be worth. Like, it's still cool that you can do that kind of stuff, you know. Because I know Trevor in Navari, and he does stainless steel. Yeah, Trevor uses his 50 watt for jewelry because he does jewelry for the jeweler store in the mall. And I believe he uses 50 watt for that, not his 30 watts.
Trevor was going to pop in, but I believe he's on a live stream with Laser Everything at the moment. I don't know if he's live right now or not, but I think Alex might be live.
Yeah, but
you get a notification. So
yeah, but it's
a notification if he's still live.
Yeah,
but
it's
that
cool.
doesn't mean anything, right? With YouTube, you never know.
Yeah, it can be sporadic at times. Yeah,
sometimes you don't get the notifications.
No,
but no, my next want at some point will be a fiber optic laser.
I'm in the process of totally redoing my office here. So I've taken out some of the old furniture. I bought new furniture. Actually, I bought dressers. And I've been setting them up, 5 foot long dressers, so I can keep the printers on. I'm putting shelves. I just cleaned out this whole area. I'm redoing the whole area up there because I'm doing the what do you call it? The chameleon. So I got to feed all the rolls. So I'm getting ready to run the chameleon.
How many feeds of the chameleon are you going to run? How many extruders?
4. Well, it's 4.
Well, you can do up to 30. They can do up to 36.
Yes, you can do a bunch. You can add to it. But I got to practice with the 4 first.
Yeah,
little steps.
Practice
little
with 2
steps.
on one. Practice with 2 and work your way up.
Yeah.
But Bill is great. Did you reach out to him, Bill Steely?
Yes,
he's fantastic. He's super helpful.
I asked him a question, and he got back to me immediately.
Yeah, he's great to work with. Yeah, I've interviewed him on my channel a while back. He's a really nice guy, but he's really responsive as well if you reach out to him.
Yeah, I actually talked to him. I met him while I was up at Murph.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So him and I had a short conversation with him about. That's why I bought the chameleon. He didn't have them there. He sold out. He brought a bunch of them with him. Sold out. I couldn't get it there. So
John from Tripod's Garage won one, but he hasn't got an Ender 3, I guess, to put one on.
He won one on my channel, actually. Yeah, because when I interviewed Bill offered and did a chameleon as a giveaway. But it was my channel, wasn't it?
I want to take one of my Ender 3s and convert it into a belt printer, but I have to get the money to buy the kit. It's like $240. It only comes in red, so I need it in blue. The plastic needs to be blue, not red. But I'm going to contact him and see if he might be interested in sending me a kit if I review it and build it, do a couple videos. I don't know if they would or not.
What was that again, Jerry? For what?
The kit for the Ender 3 to make it a
the belt printer.
Yeah, Honey Badger James done a review on it and a build, and I'm going to see if I might be able to talk to him and do a build series or something with it.
Yeah, I was talking with James about that yesterday as well. Yeah,
I got 3 Enders sitting on the floor here doing nothing, and I don't have a belt printer. I don't know how much I would use it, but it'd be nice to have the option to have it. So it makes more content.
As I said, the only reason why I'd use a belt printer is if I was using it for the Toys for Tots. Prior to that, I've never seen a need for one, but now I kind of do for the high volume
Something
stuff.
like that. Yeah.
I'm actually hoping at some point I'll probably get one of the, the new ones where you can do the 45 and 90 degree.
Yep.
The deformable printer.
Yeah.
There's a belt. That would actually probably be better served for me because I could do it at 90 degrees and print at 90 degree speeds. And then it'll roll off the end and then do another one at 90 degree speeds and it'll just keep going like that. That would probably be better than the CR30 because the first layer of CR30 is always slow. Whereas if I do 90 degree, I just do the first layer and then the rest it's all whatever speed, the normal print speed. So, what was that company's name? I have to look their name up now.
Aztec.
Well, I'm a member of so many groups and stuff. I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Aztec.
One second. I have to check on Facebook. I have to go look at my groups, see which one it is. It's all right, Jerry. I don't mind you putting up the icon.
I was looking, while we've been streaming, I'm looking for that picture of my hard drive so I can put a maybe sign above the head. So when I find it, I'll take that picture, modify, and put a maybe sign above him.
Maybe it's like.
Yeah. No, maybe it's the right answer or not.
Yeah,
hey, Zolan, how you doing? Are you still with us?
I'm still here. I'm just setting up to capture the ISS when it goes by.
All right, cool. Yeah,
I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I remember a few years ago. I remember going outside at night and I could see what looked like a bright star go right across the sky. I've seen it.
That's a space station, yeah.
I couldn't tell what I was looking at, but I knew that's what it was.
Well, it could have been a space station or it could have been a satellite.
It was announced on the news when it was coming by, and it was a space station.
Okay. So the Infinity 3D is the one I was looking at.
Okay.
I think it was aliens.
I was hoping the bright light going across the sky would all of a sudden stop and dart off the other direction really fast, that I could say I actually seen a UFO, which I never have.
Has anyone seen the Infinity 3D printer? It's a belt printer that can print at 90 degrees, or you can convert it into a 45 for endless Z.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a video on it.
Share your screen.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's a Kickstarter. I think it's done on Kickstarter now. They reached the goal. Let me show what it looks like.
It was actually at 509.
Facebook sent me another notice today saying that my group is in violation of their terms, blah, blah, blah. And my Facebook group always has in the About section all kinds of links and referrals and things like that to different companies. I've always posted for 5 years now. And as of lately, and they've done it again, they said I'm in violation. If you don't agree, click here. And I don't know what their problem is.
So there's a printer. And this axis can be taken apart. And you can actually convert it into a 45-degree printer as well. It's all on the belt. So you can do 90 degrees on a belt or 45 on a belt.
Wow.
And they're a new company.
So with the 90-degree, you could tell it to print a model in advance and reprint that model in advance.
Exactly. So it does infinity printing. It'll do constant printing, but it'll print at normal FDM speeds. Yeah. And the X gantry, or the Z gantry here, that's Core XY. And it's linear rails and linear rails and linear rails everywhere.
Justin, I put my address in private chat. You see it?
So it looks like I've suggested a few changes to them.
Oh, Justin's not there.
He's still playing around somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've suggested a few mods to the printer to them, but it's
here goes in action,
and they're actually going to use it. Oh yeah, that's it. They have it working there. Yeah.
Those renders are cool how they do that. In Fusion, can't you make things move like that in Fusion and stuff?
They're not used. They use some.
No, they're animations. They're actual legitimate animations. So.
Yeah.
They make him look so happy while he's printing with it, like he's not undergoing any frustrations with leveling anything.
No, he's been on under doctor's orders on chemistry additions to make himself look good.
I've never seen funny tobacco anything that nice right away.
And look how neat his shop is. That's just not realistic.
Yeah.
But
where's his floor printers? He's got no floor printers. There's something wrong there. Yeah, if he's doing that much stuff. Look at that.
He needs.
Notice all the bins behind him are empty. All the filament rolls are full. No staging going on those videos. No.
And all the prints look perfect, which I've never seen a belt printer come out with a perfect print right away.
So this has potential, I think.
Oh, he's pulled the plug out. That'll teach him.
No. Oh man.
Oh, it's got power restore. Yeah.
So this is live on Indiegogo right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know, So I don't know what are they. I can't remember the price. It's not ridiculous either, is it? I think it was something like $500.
I don't know. Let's see.
I think their early bird worth
He's
$500.
raised about 108,000, and let's see. The early bird was $499.
$499, yeah.
Hong Kong dollars, 641 Canadian. That's what, 200 US.
It's 10 to 1. It's 10 to 1. It's 10 to 1 for a Hong Kong dollar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad actually.
So have they reached their goal?
I
think they have.
I believe so.
They have.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Liam.
How to get around the pattern on 90-degree printing? I don't know. It's not my company. I can't answer that question. But they have. I don't know if it's hard to tell if it's actually breaching the patent or not. Right? It's tricky to tell because the patent was for continuous printing. But there's
camera.
You could claim that the 45-degree was also doing that, and their patent, they could be patenting that it does both, which makes it a new patent because it's greater than 50% different from each of them. Because if you're doing it in one direction and you're cloning it, now you're breaching it because you're the same as them. If you're doing it in the other direction, you're breaching it because you're the same as the other. But because it's both, it could be deemed a different patent legally. So therefore, it may not be breaching any of those patent laws. Because it's a new design that's greater.
Dual axis printer in effect. Yeah,
it's dual axis, and it's different more than 60% different than the other design. If it's more than 60% different than the other design, it no longer breaches copyright.
And with all those linear rails and all that, it's markedly different.
Yeah, so there's enough differences in there to make it its own design. So I don't think it will breach those laws. That copyright license. I don't think it will. So yeah, they haven't patented. They should, but I think they already have, because it is a combo of two different designs, and with enough variation in there that it actually stands out and different to the other machines.
Kieran, have you printed any clock spring stuff lately?
Of course, he has.
Well, I've got one. There's one on the printer at the moment, but it's for my nephew's child. I'm doing the train set for him. That's what's running off at the moment. But cool. I do other ones. You know, this one's not clock spring. Yeah. Did you print this one, Zolan? The llama corn?
Oh wow. Oh, I didn't see that.
I haven't printed anything recently.
This is Flexi Factory on
that's cute.
Yeah.
On My Mini Factory and on
My Mini Factory. The Flexi Factory is the guy who designs these. Yeah. So. Yep. Right down to the teeth and the tongue hanging out. Now that's I've got a few of these for giveaways for Christmas.
Yeah, Builder Robot, you are correct. It all depends on how good the lawyer is and how much the company wants to chase it down. Some companies may not bother; others will want to try. Will want to fight a good fight, you know. So, and with enough variation in design, as I said,
if they don't bother, they can actually lose the patent.
I know, but again, because of the variation, they may not, because they say it's going to be a hard one to fight because there's too much of a difference.
Big Mike. I have not, and I know I've told you a million times that I was going to reach out to them. I have not reached out to them. I wrote down their name again. You have it on the screen. I'll email them today. I'm going to pull up their website right here in a minute. I'll leave it on my desktop, and I'll email them to see if we might be able to get together, and I can maybe have them on as a special guest, or if I could go to their shop, one or the other, and do a video. But I'll reach out to them today.
Haven't they got their factory there in Las Vegas, Palalu?
Yeah, real pretty.
So Zolan is Ike also. Jerry, you should move the Ike logo over to Zolan.
Yeah.
I don't know everything. If I knew everything, I would be dead. If you're not learning something, you might as well be dead.
Exactly. That's the best thing about this sort of community is you're learning something every day, and there's always something new.
Yep. And possibly not like Liam, I'm okay being proven wrong because that means I can learn.
That's what marriage is for you. You always
actually human.
I don't mind.
No, usually you're married.
Look,
Get told
I'm
you're
wrong.
wrong
I'm wrong all
every
the
day.
time. I know. I get told all the time I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's my wife's story.
I get informed of this every single day.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mike, yes, I do spend way too much time on the internet.
I do when I'm not working.
I just got a Curiosity stream subscription, just so that way I can listen to more than just YouTube at work.
I like BQWTZRBK comment though. I like BQWTZRBK comment just come up. That's quite good.
I'm one of these guys that goes out to watch, and that actually goes out to and download and read science papers. So, yeah, I spend time on the internet doing that, like astronomy and astrophysics papers. I read those all the time.
I know somebody asked you, but again, what scale did you put that dragon at?
250%.
Yeah. And I wish I had my big printer running, because I want one that size.
Yeah, it's got another, looks like, well, it's been going for 18 hours and 46 minutes.
But what speed are you running there at the moment, Tim?
It's hitting 100 millimeters a second.
Wasn't that from that's the Einstein said that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Didn't Einstein say that?
I don't remember.
I believe that's a saying from Einstein. He said, if you find that you're the smartest person in the room, you'll find that you're also in the wrong room.
Actually, apparently, it's attributed to Lauren Michaels and Marissa Mayer. It's being said to Marissa Mayer.
I thought it was Einstein said it.
Einstein was don't be the smartest person in the room.
I know. Yeah, he said. I like Samuel Clemens' comments. I love his sayings. You know Samuel Clemens, right?
Yep. Yeah. Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, Tom Sawyer. Yeah, he's some of the best ones.
Oh, apparently, it's also being attributed to Feynman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So who knows?
Wow, it got quiet.
I actually have a GitHub link. I don't post hardly anything on it, but I have one.
Yeah, so do I, but I don't put anything up for it either. I don't have time.
So because you're on sayings, another thing I really like, and you guys see if you know who said this. It's whether you're right or whether you're wrong. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Ah.
I don't know. I've never heard that one before.
Henry Ford.
You started out with a Dr. Seuss one.
Here I have one. I have one for you, Tim. One of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes ever. Reading a book with your dog is grand. Reading a book in your dog is dark.
Okay.
What?
Groucho Marx.
Reading a book with your dog is grand. Reading a book in your dog is dark.
True, which is true.
In more ways than one.
Big Mike, I've got their page open right now. Contact us open. So after the stream, I'll email them. I promise.
Yeah, that dragon would take me about 20 hours on normal scale, not scaling it up. So yeah,
well, I could speed it up, but because it's got the intricate parts and the movement and it's the articulations, I don't want to
risk catching and taking it all apart off the plate. Yeah.
No, not at all. And it should look cool when it's done. It's hard to see in this lighting, but it's a rainbow filament. That is.
You can see it started greenish and it's gone quite grey now.
Yeah, it started purple, then went green. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I got the Capricorn black to orange to red or whatever filament, the one that changes based on heat, and I wanted to print one of these very large using that filament. Because then I could drape it over a light or something.
That was at Murph, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the spool that Chris Shane gave me.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of those.
So the filament changes color on temperature after it's been extruded.
Yep.
Wow. Huh.
And if you get it cold, it turns black. It normally sits at about a gray normal room temperature. But if you heat it up, it will go from gray all the way to red, and with yellow and red in there. Yeah. Cool. And as it does that transition, it will sometimes look like it's green as well.
And that's Capricorn, you said?
Capricorn.
Yeah. And my favorite saying of all, and I use it all the time because I come across flat earthers every time I do astronomy events, and it's something to live by. Is never argue with an idiot, because it'll take you down to their level and they'll beat you with experience. So
I actually kind of
here
like
we go. The
and I
thermochromatic color changing lava. Yep. That's the one. Okay.
I like
that quote goes along with one of my favorites.
I like Tyson's quote a lot, even though he isn't who originally said it. And that is it's one thing to know so much that you think you know it. It's one thing to think you know it, but it's another to realize that you know enough to not know it.
Yeah, Tyson said something like that. I've heard him say that before.
Hey guys, I got to run. I'm going to go get dinner for the family. So
take care, Tim.
We will
Cheers,
catch all you guys later. This shirt feels like that commercial where it's like you're so comfortable.
And you're live Sunday 5 p.m. Pacific, right?
Tomorrow 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes.
I'll probably still be out of town tomorrow, so I'll probably miss it. I don't think I'll be back yet. Back to Vegas.
Okay.
So you have a great stream.
Yeah, and this guy I'll still be printing on my stream tomorrow. So yeah. Yeah.
Is that the filament?
Hopefully, it'll still be printing.
It just what? What was that, Kieran?
Is that the filament there? That's the one, Zolan?
Yeah.
No. Oh, Zolan. Yeah. Okay.
No, Zolan was saying. Yeah, that looked
yes.
nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Catch everybody later.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Cheers, Tim.
Sergio, do you want 1 or 2 stickers?
One's enough. Thank you.
Writing it now.
Cool. Be right back.
Yeah. But the reason why I like Simon Clement's sayings is because he never liked politicians. And he has a lot of really good sayings about politicians, and none of them are flattering.
My light should be turning on. Hey, there's a robin eating off the sidewalk. Okay.
So yeah, the Capricorn. Let me see, because I picked up 2 different ones. Yeah, this is that multicolor.
Yeah, they had a rainbow, and then they had the heat changing one.
Yeah, one of these is a rainbow. Yeah, that's the one you're talking about. So it's black, and then it changes color.
That's an orangey color.
And this one's the rainbow.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So, Zolan, does the heat change go based on the temperature you're printing at, or is it based on the ambient temperature of the air?
Ambient temperature. So if you're printing it, it'll actually come out of your hot end reddish yellow, and then it'll cool, and as it cools, it'll go back down to that black.
Yeah.
But then if you're handling the print or you put it near a heat source, it'll slowly start changing.
So it's thermochromatic. Okay.
Yes.
There are other ones that when you print, there are some
based on the temperature it comes out the nozzle. Will be a different,
and it stays at that temperature afterwards.
Yep.
There was some experimentation. I don't think nothing's in production, but there was experimentation done on that, where by varying the temperature of the filament you're printing, the output is it holds its color after that.
Yeah, Joel showed that in the video. Went to the
well,
factory.
That was with Mike. That was with all his Mike, and that. But his one does. His one was by adding inks to it.
Yeah,
but there was other guys who've done it that they add some chemicals to it, and the color of the material will vary based on the print nozzle temperature, and you could do multiple colors, and then when it's finished printing, it resets it. But if you want to reset it back, you can put it in warm water for a certain amount of time, and then when you bring it back out, it resets back to its base color again. You can actually undo it after a time.
Oh, look, Jamie's making a model of tripod.
What?
Print
no,
base.
I want
one leg only.
I won't put his leg on until I have his upper body painted.
A second leg. Yeah.
This would be too hard to get to a paintbrush or a paintbrush to it. So, but yeah, the whole time we've been talking, or you guys have been talking, I've been filling seams. My thing to do is use the same resin I printed him with. Better bond than any glue I've ever found.
And you just paint that on, or use a toothpick, or
Yeah, I use a toothpick, and I can get a little, you know, a
yeah, and
little
just rub it
tiny
into the
drop.
let it flow in. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to fill the seam, just like a hair over the top of the seam,
You can always
and
trim
then
it
I'll
back.
hit it
Yeah.
with my nail grinder.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off.
Oh, they're very close to us.
Take care, Justin.
See you guys
Justin.
later.
Bye,
Don't
Justin.
have too much fun.
Take care, Justin.
Be safe up in there, buddy.
Yeah, next week when I fly next, so I'm not worried.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
And
For joining.
there'll be a video up in about an hour. So
Cool.
You know that guys that you mentioned, Big Mike, they're in Shelby Township. That's probably an hour and a half drive from me. And they're not ridiculously expensive either. $20 a spool of filament is not bad. Yeah, they're an hour away from me. I could actually pay them a visit. And they have nice colors.
$20 a spool and $100 worth of fuel to get them. Yeah.
Well, fuel here is about $3.30 a gallon here.
I'll be right back.
Where
So
are
let me
you?
share the screen. These guys are local guys here in Michigan.
I'll stop complaining about my $2.70 a gallon.
I'm 281.
That's these guys.
Bi-spool. Okay.
There's some nice colors.
Oh, I like that purple.
The purple, the orange is nice.
Like the blue and the purple.
The gray, it's kind of a greeny gray. It's a nice color too.
Yeah, I need to get some green filament. I've got some things that the wife wants printed in green. We haven't got any green filament.
They're only doing PLA. They don't do other materials. It's a pity. I'd like if they did PET G, it'd be. That's nice material. And I live in Michigan. I've never heard of them. i3D Max. I don't know this. So these guys are an hour's drive away from me. I live in this area, and they're all the way over here. So that's only an hour away from me.
Why would you go? Wouldn't going north, southwest to northeast be faster?
No, freeway is better.
Oh, okay.
It's the better road, yeah.
Right.
It's the shortest route. Going up here,
looking at your right angle triangle hypotenuse would be the faster route.
The problem is going through here, through the lakes. That's a bottleneck.
Okay.
So you avoid if you can avoid the lakes, it's actually better. All the traffic going through the lakes, because the lakes are just Michigan has got lots of small lakes, and then the roads narrow down and everything slows down going through those areas. So it's better to avoid.
Here's that Christmas tree that the LA hobby guy did that I showed on the Congo stream that I cut out. Came out real nice. There's like 4 or 5 different ornaments. I used a bread tie. That's a hook for that.
Isn't there a 3D print model for the same sort of tree? There's one there with the decorations as well, I think, from the same author. There's a 3D model of that
I'm not
design.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is from the LA hobby guy. He just supposedly designed this.
I've seen that as a similar sort of thing as a 3D print model, the same sort of thing, and just hang different decorations in the hole. Yeah.
And I didn't paint this one. I wanted to leave it raw for the show on the stream. So
Pretty cute. I saw the video. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. The link's right below it where you can download the files to burn it.
Yeah, the LL3D are in Florida. Someone mentioned about them there. They're in Florida. They're not anywhere near me. And I haven't used their material either, I don't think. It doesn't look familiar. Yeah, but like the other guys that are here in Michigan, I don't know what their material is like, but if it's any good, I could jump in the car and throw a couple of spools in the back of the car.
I thought you had a truck. I thought you had a truck.
Car, truck. It's 4 wheels. Who cares?
I'm a stickler about that. Like my wife says car, and I have a truck, not a car. But then she'll go motor transportation.
Yeah, I got 4 wheels of spare and a steamer wheel. That's all I need. But it is
One too many.
I have the 1500 RAM. But yeah, that wouldn't have to pay a penny in shipping for them. But their spools are cheaper though. The IID Max. I haven't tried their material. Is it good?
Guys, I gotta run.
Oh,
GS,
all right.
No worries, Jamie.
Well, take care. Have a great night. Thank you for joining.
Thanks. See you guys next time.
See ya.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I have to look. I haven't tried those guys.
GST 3D has videos online where they show their facilities. There's like 3 plants around the world. One is in, I believe, Florida, and they make all their own filament. I'm assuming the pellets probably get shipped in, I assume.
Oh, yeah, they have to buy that in,
Florida. Yeah.
But they have, actually, i3D Max have Black Friday deals of $9 a spool. And that's PLA Plus. Their PET G is $17 a spool for some of it.
And my alien that I wanted to print, Paul the alien, I'm working on him right now. I'm working on his head, but he's on the CR10 Max, 100% scale. He'll be probably 4.5 to 5 feet tall. I don't know yet. Here's his feet. All the parts are hollowed. There's no support whatsoever in any of his parts. And I got the on Black Friday special on Gambody. It had like $7 or $8 off. I paid like $17 for the files. But the head they had on Gambody was like 20 pieces. I don't want to glue the head together 20 pieces and have all those seams to deal with. So I emailed Gambody. They got a hold of the designer, and then he uploaded the head in one piece. Took 3 or 4 days to get it up, and now they have the head. And I'm printing that right now on the Max. So
That was good.
yeah, I don't like messing with a zillion pieces. It's hard covering up lines and sanding and putting and sanding and So
Putting and sanding and filling and sanding some more.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's hard to get rid of lines or seams. I mean.
All right, Jerry, I'm going to jump because it's almost been 3 hours, and I want to get more testing done in that machine. So,
all right. Well, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you'll be up and running on Wednesday night. And
I will, because we have nothing scheduled for this. Last Wednesday was kind of unusual, but I will have a hangout on Wednesday for sure.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah, I'll probably go 3 hours. I'll go another 20 minutes, and I'll end it instead of going 4 hours.
And Sergio, when you get that fiber laser set up, we expect to be on stream watching this thing work, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So you got to get it working, and on Wednesday night, jump onto my hangout, and we'll actually you can show it working.
I don't know if I'll get it done by Wednesday because I have.
Well, I'll be here on Saturday, so.
What are you going to use for your extraction system? You'll need a good extraction system with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing I've been thinking about.
Yep. Get a 3D printer chamber with an extraction with a hose going out the window with an inline fan. That's what I do. That's what I use, and that works great. And you can laser away all you want inside there.
Yeah,
and
with that fiber, you'll definitely want to get rid of any fumes and particles. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Sergio, if you want to do a build video or something on that, I can jump in the StreamYard with you privately. I can tape the session and then post it whenever on my group, and it can just be you setting it up and all that if you wanted to do that.
We'll see. It depends on how, this time of year I can't even take any more work because we've got jobs right now that are going to take us through about the middle to the end of January. So, a matter of fact, I got a call, Thursday. One of the guys who sends me a lot of work, a company, he needs me to do a job, and I told him I can't take anymore. So
okay. Well, that's a good. Well, yeah, people you can't be without their heating now. So, I'm sure that's keeping you busy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's worried about their heaters.
Yeah, similar design. Yeah.
Yeah, she's an Aussie. There's a whole pile of baubles you can hang off the tree, stars and spinners and all that hang off the same tree. That's where it looked familiar because she's an Aussie as well. She does some nice stuff.
Very good. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to go.
Take care, Liam.
Take care. I will see you Wednesday if you want to hang out with me on Wednesday. And if not, I'll be here next week to hang out with Jerry.
All righty.
Fair enough. Cheers, Liam.
Okay, guys.
Take care.
Ciao.
Good night.
And it's just the 4 Stooges left.
Oh no, we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. Yeah.
I thought he was closing it down.
No, he's going to keep running for like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, just to pass the time.
I used to go up to 4 hours, but then things were more lively and more people were on the stream, and then even then sometimes it's hard to shut down. But as it dwindles down, then I just randomly say, you know what, that's it. But
gotcha. Where's okay? I
had to go put the chickens away.
You got to get going, Solon?
No, I was be right back because I had to go lock the coop up.
Okay.
But I'm done now.
Yeah, that llama was Colt's 3D, not my manufacturing, as an aside.
Oh.
Okay.
It's actually on the front page. It's on the front page of Colt's 3D at the moment. The llama corn.
Big Mike Sergio is asking. He said, "Aren't you in Northern VA?" My son's business is in VA.
No, I'm on the other side of Washington. I'm in Maryland.
Yes, John. Yes, John, you can. Well, since when has that stopped you speaking your mind, John, with the Astros there or not?
You speak freely. Yeah. Well, pop in, John. Here's the link right here. You're going to come in and hang out for a little bit. I'll be on for another 20 minutes. Yep, we're still here.
Sorry. I'm trying to figure out what the amp hour usage is right now of my solar setup.
Yeah, but like I said, Monday I was probably going to start live streaming, working on that Aztec calendar again. But when I went out there halfway through and vacuumed it out when the program Candle shut down, it was already gunked up on the rollers, the wheels, everything real heavily. And I don't know that it can finish the whole thing without having it screw up or have a misstep. So I have to hook up some sort of vacuum to it. Once I get a vacuum of some sort hooked up to it, then I'll run a live.
Do you have a dust collector?
Yeah, I bought one, a Cyclone. And,
yep.
Yeah.
I was asking because there's actually a couple really good tutorials out there on how to make one, and one of them uses 3D printed parts.
Yeah, I had one I downloaded a long time ago, but Harbor Freight, $40. I couldn't beat it, and I bought a bucket. So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And when I cleaned the whole thing out, I took off the shop vac because I blew out the filter the other day with my air compressor, and it was spotlessly clean, nothing in there whatsoever, and it was all in the bucket. So it does work. Hey Scott, how you doing?
What was the TPU one you got printed off for your vac housing? What was that one for?
That was from Llama to go on to the Makita router, but my router,
the Makita router,
the bracket, the colic, or not the colic, but the bracket for the router, its spindle, the router itself is too tall, and I can't put it on the bottom.
Okay.
So I would have to take part of it apart and try to cut down the bracket so I could mount that. But yeah, I need to figure something out.
Cut the top of the model off. That'd do the same thing, wouldn't it? Just shorten the model.
No, there's no, that won't work.
Oh, no, you got nowhere to put it. No, you can't.
There's nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
So I'll got to figure something out. Yeah, Scott, Latine, we're just winding down. We've been going for 2 hours, 43 minutes now. Nothing real exciting going on, so we're just kind of slowing down.
That's normal for this channel, though, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes we have a lot of people, which we did earlier, and then it just kind of dwindles. I see an ambulance out front turning around. I wonder what happened on the street. Somebody must have had a heart attack. See it drive. I live in a cul-de-sac on the last house, and I got cameras around my property. So,
yeah, you and me both. The front, the side.
Yeah, and I have one in the kitchen that monitors this room right here. So if somebody was to ever break in and steal all my stuff, then I can got them on camera.
Yeah.
That's what this one's for.
Wouldn't Brandy appreciate that though, Jerry?
Yeah.
I leave this one set up somewhere, always watching the door for when I go to work.
When I'm working out in the garage, I need to get something that I can set up that's just for like a garage cam, because this unit's all wired to come into this room. But when I'm in the garage, I can't see what's happening outside the garage door. So maybe a wise cam like that.
This is wireless.
Okay, cool. And I can just have
only wireless.
My other PC. Okay.
It runs on a battery, and the battery lasts about 6 months. And it's 2 parts. So the receiver is somewhere here. What the hell is it? Well, I put it away, but somewhere up around there. But it transmits to the receiver, and the receiver you connect it direct to an Ethernet cable. So, and you can put this anywhere.
Okay.
It's totally outdoor, rain, whatever, won't harm it. It's sealed, IP67, and it's only about, I think it's about $60 for the setup.
Who makes those?
Wise.
Well, there's a Wise one. There's a Wise.
Yeah, I ordered a bunch a long time ago through Home Depot. They're like $20 a piece. The wireless, I'm sure, costs more, but
yeah, these are more expensive. These are, and the good thing is, one receiver will do 4 cameras.
That's good.
So you don't have to buy both, or you can just buy 4 cameras and 1 receiver, and you're good to go.
What sort of range? What sort of range does that have?
We've tried it at about 50 feet away from the house, the backyard, all the way at the back of the yard, and it works. So
depending on how many walls are in between, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the antenna. The receiver does have 2 antennas on it.
Okay.
So it's not just the one. What the hell did I do with it? Because I'm moving the room around. So
now a fire truck is turning around, but every time you call an ambulance, a fire truck always comes with it.
Oh yeah.
Big Mike, the link, I just posted a link to the LA Hobby Guy's YouTube video. In his description, it tells where it has a link where you can download the file if you want to cut it on a laser. Kieran, can you post a link to the one that you've seen, to Thingiverse? Because I think Big Mike wanted the 3D print one.
Okay, no worries. Let's get that back. Hang on 1 second.
But if you want to do it on laser, Big Mike, or Diode, I posted a link to the video where it's at in the description. From
I'll just bring her back up. She's in my favorites. Let's just find it. Boom, 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 boom.
I don't know what the heck I do with it. All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, I've got 2 Wise cams, I think. Do I have 2? Yeah, I've got one set up in my hobby room here to keep an eye on stuff. Then I have another one. I don't know where I put the other one at.
I just posted the link for the Christmas tree. If you go to her collection, there's a whole stack of different baubles you can hang off the tree as well. So that one there is just the snowflake, but she has like 7 or 8 different ornaments you can hang off it.
Oh, you see that joke on Facebook where it's probably made up, but the school teacher asked the little boy the Christmas tree picture. He said, draw balls on the tree. So he drew 2 balls down below and he got an apple. She failed him on that. She says, no, Timmy, not those kind of balls. Anyway, it's kind of funny.
A ball's a ball's a ball. Yeah. So the Big Mike, so the Thingiverse links for the 3D printed one. But Louisiana Hobby Guy, Jerry's got that one for the other one. Yeah. Now that's good, Mike. It's quite a quick print because it's very thin, and the nice thing is most of the baubles are basically 3-dimensional. So you can like 2 halves you split together and it makes a bigger round bauble. So if you look at if you go through a collection, there's sure about 7 or 8 different baubles you hang off it. So you can actually mix and match the Christmas trees.
Welcome back, Groucho.
We haven't got lives, old curmudgeons. That's why we're still kicking around. For me, it's Sunday morning coming up to 8 o'clock. So,
well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and call it. It's getting pretty slow. Sergio.
Yes, sir.
Just want to let you know that I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. That way you don't turn around and we're gone. But thank you guys very much for joining. It's been awesome. I would love to see more from that fiber laser when you get it going, Sergio.
Sure.
If you want to tape it, maybe I'd be more than happy to.
I'll let you know.
We can go in privately. I could tape it and then I can post it, and then you'll have your video out there.
Yeah, we'll work something out maybe. It depends on how soon I can get to it because like Liam was saying, this has a steep learning curve. So
yeah,
and setup. So
and I don't have a fiber, so I can't advise you on a fiber laser.
It's no different to anything else in this sort of collection of hobbies that we accumulate. It's always educational, though. That's the main thing.
But everybody watching, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for the donations to PayPal and the super chats. I really appreciate it. And I'll be back next week. And everybody take care. Zohan, Karen, Sergio.
No worries, guys. And stay safe, eh?
Take care. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hit that like button.